Mr. Maldonado will assert, it was provided because the motion for the in-camera interview was directed to Judge Hale. So you have not received it and you have not seen it.
So I haven't seen it.
Well, you heard it.
Okay.
Well, hold on a second. I'm going to call the case here in a little bit.
So where's that motion for in-camera inspection? Have I gotten a copy of that or?
Interview
Don't.
was directed to Judge Hale. So you have not received it.
We're getting a feedback there.
No, yeah, I neglected, and I hadn't called the case, but I had neglected. This is a public hearing. I had to go.
Where's the motion?
There, we should be fine. Let me call the case, and then we'll get started here.
Modify the temporary orders.
Mr. Knotson, even if you're, and again, I think you're free to get a copy of that of the transcript directly from the court reporter. And this is a proceeding you were a part of last week. If you're unable to do that, and since it has been at some point in time, it is going to be brought to me. It will be made available to you. Copying like
when was the date he filed that motion to modify temporary orders?
I'll tell you right now. Come on in, Cruz. Come in.
The one about hitting or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Matson, I think it was filed on Thursday, the day of the hearing or the day before. We had February. Here we go, February 26th. And let me check.
It was filed February 26th.
Yeah, we discussed it. And
okay, I'm looking at petitioner motion to modify, reconsider, request to modify temporary orders to 24. So there's one after that.
Yes, and there's a certificate of service that it was sent to your office and Mr. Martinez's office. And we discussed it on Thursday.
All right. Yeah, I remember us discussing it.
And I specifically told the parties that we would be taking that up today. All right, let me get out of Odyssey here. There we go. All right, let me call the case. Is everyone ready to go?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court calls 2020 FLA 000-193D4 in the matter of Moises Alvarez and Diana Caso Alvarez.
Good afternoon, it's Manuel Flores. I'm present for the petitioner, Mr. Moises Alvarez, who is also present.
Marcel Knotson here with Diana Caso here for the respondent.
Okay, and let me address all this, Mr. Knotson. It's not a very long transcript. I can probably scan it and send it to you so you don't have to come by. But this is basically a transcript of what we discussed, and you were present the last time we convened.
All right.
I'm advising the parties that that there was an additional motion. It may have been filed today or yesterday, but I read it, and I'm inclined to grant that the visitation or the in-camera visit with the child. And so, having said that,
and we're in agreement with that, Judge.
so at about 3 o'clock tomorrow, I'll visit with the child.
Okay.
And prior to making a decision on this,
Your Honor, will you be conducted?
So is this the emergency motion that was filed February 25th?
yes, well, whatever date I told you a little while ago, it was the 25th or 26th.
The one I have is the 25th. If Cruz can verify that, is that?
Mr. Melton, I just saw it in Odyssey. It's in the court file.
Okay,
Your Honor, would the interview be conducted with Mr. Martinez, the guardian present? Because as you know, the child has already developed a relationship with the guardian, and it would be very difficult for her to go into your chambers alone and
Well,
open up.
And just so the parties know, I had already thought about that. I was going to,
but I want the court to be the one asking
yeah,
the questions.
Mr.
I think it's going to become evident that there's a lot of coaching going on here and a lot of derogatory comments by Mr. Alvarez about the wife. And, he's
I'm
continuing to
gonna
do that.
And I'm wondering, Mr. Martinez had mentioned that, which I think is a good practice, and to have a female present, so
I
that.
have no problem with that. I don't know if there's Arminda Pina would be very good. She's the court administrator, so that's just a suggestion unless you have somebody else in mind, Judge.
Mr. Martinez's wife, who has already been present,
Well,
I was,
a psychologist.
she's what?
That's who I was thinking of. And they won't be allowed to participate in any form or fashion while I conduct the interview, I guess, and talk to her, to the child. So if
I mean, that's key there. I mean, just to be there to observe and, oh, remember you told me this, and oh, remember you told me that, or whatever. It's like, that's, I don't think appropriate. I mean, Mr.
No.
Martinez talked to my client, I think this weekend, and he made it seem like everything was fine. And he's, any concern he had was alleviated. And, so you may want to talk to the ad litem. Maybe all this is unnecessary.
Your
I mean,
Honor,
my client's here that can testify to that.
aside from the issue of the abuse of the child, the situation of having the child spend 1 week in one home and 1 week in another home is just simply untenable. And I believe the child will complain about that too. So I would ask that you not be limited just to the slap to the eye, but also another situation.
no, and basically we're going to revisit the entire situation. If there will be a female present, I'm going to ask Armandina first from the 406 administrator, just have her be introduced and have her actually bring her into chambers. And also I'll ask her to come down at 3 to be here. And then failing that, there's Gracie here, or Lisa from the 49th. And again, they will not participate. Anyone who ends up coming in is not going to participate in any form or fashion. Was there a written report that Mr. Martinez was going to file? Does anyone know?
I am not aware, Your Honor, that he would have filed a
Your Honor.
report since he testified.
Okay, so we'll do this.
Judge.
Wait, hold on. In reference to the decision, after I meet with the child, and I'll ask this of the parties, are you going to want to, you want me to make it, and I'm leaving this up to both of you, want to make a decision based on what I hear from the child, or we can reconvene after the visit? It may not be tomorrow or Friday. It's hard to get a court reporter. where I will relay my findings from the conversation and give you all an opportunity to have some input. What do you all prefer?
I guess reconvene, Judge. But I do want to ask a few questions
Of who?
of Mr. Alvarez.
Well,
I mean, this is important, at least where the court will have some of the issues at hand and be able to ask questions of the child as you deem appropriate.
And I would also want to, if that's the case, Your Honor, and you have the time, I would want to question Mom too.
okay, and that was my first question that I had, Mr. Flores, whether you wanted to put on additional information. And so I guess we'll do it that way. I will warn both sides that the court has reviewed a lot of the information already provided, and to be careful not to try to antagonize or badger the witnesses. I know this is a sensitive deal, but this is not a free ride to have at it at the other side either. So, Mr. Flores, this is your motion, so I'll ask you to call your first witness.
Yes, well, I'd like to call Mr. Alvarez first, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Alvarez, do we have an interpreter? Or will you testify in English or in Spanish, Mr. Alvarez?
Spanish.
Mr. Gallegos?
Yes, I'm present, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Gallegos, can you raise your right hand so I can swear you in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will, to the best of your ability, translate from Spanish to English and English to Spanish? So
I do.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Alvarez, can you raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear that the evidence you're about to present shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You understood that? You understood the oath in English, Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, before we proceed, I would like to give Mr. Alvarez some instructions as to how he's going to be providing his testimony.
Yes.
Solamente quiero informarle, señor Álvarez, que cuando usted empiece a declarar y dar testimonio, que por favor lo haga en pausas para darme o aportarme la oportunidad a mí de poder traducirlo efectivamente.
Claro que sí.
Ándele, muchas gracias, se lo agradezco.
Gracias.
You may proceed, Mr. Flores.
Sir, will you tell the court your full name? State your full name.
Moisés Álvarez.
And Mr. Alvarez, you are the petitioner in this case and the father of a minor child. Is that correct?
Sí.
Yes.
What is the child's name?
Nicole Álvarez.
And pursuant to prior court orders, what is the arrangement of custody between you and your wife?
¿Me podrían traducir la pregunta?
De acuerdo al arreglo de la corte, ¿qué es el arreglo que la corte dictó para la custodia de la niña Nicole entre usted y su esposa?
Ahorita, temporalmente estamos 50 y 50. Ahorita.
Right now, temporarily, we're at 50-50% each.
And specifically, it's 1 week with each parent, is that correct?
Y específicamente es una semana con cada padre, ¿es eso correcto?
Así es una semana conmigo de lunes a domingo y una semana con su mamá de domingo a lunes, de domingo a domingo.
That is correct. It is 1 week from Monday to Sunday with me and 1 week from Monday to Sunday with her.
And who had custody of the child during the week, last week?
¿Y quién tuvo custodia de la niña la semana pasada?
Estuvo con su mamá.
She was with her mother.
And when was she with you?
¿Y cuándo fue que ella estuvo con usted?
La semana pasada estuvo conmigo, ahorita está con su mamá.
Last week she was with me. Right now she is with her mother.
During the course of the stay with you, did the child tell you anything that something hurt?
Durante el curso de que la niña estuvo con usted, ¿ella le mencionó algo de que algo le dolía?
Lo que pasó fue que
What happened was,
la semana pasada,
Judge, I was on mute. I was saying leading. Did your child tell you that something hurt? That's leading.
I'm going to allow it. It is leading, but for right now, I'm going to allow it.
pasó algo fuera de lo normal que por lo regular pasa cada semana.
something happened out of the normal that usually happens every week.
La niña desde temprano me empezó a llamar para que fuera a recogerla antes del horario establecido.
The child called me earlier from the established hour so I could go pick her up.
Pero fueron muchas veces.
But it was a lot of times.
La última vez
Judge,
que habló,
A non-responsive. It's a simple question. Did she tell you she had pain? It's a yes or no answer.
What if anything, when you finally picked up the child, what if anything did she tell you whether anything hurt?
Objection, hearsay.
Usted levantó a la niña que
Hearsay.
algo le dijo ella de que algo le dolía.
sí, el ojo, que porque su mamá le había pegado
Judge,
en la cara.
Hearsay, Judge.
Overruled. I'm going to hear the testimony from both sides, and I understand that it's involving what the child said. So
Okay. Can I just have a running objection?
can have a running objection.
And just to respond,
Yes,
statement by a child's state of mind is an exception to the hearsay rule.
The objection has been overruled.
And what, if anything, did she tell you about why her eye was hurting?
I didn't make the translation. Let me go ahead and he said, yes, her eye, because she said her mother hit her.
And what, if anything else, did she explain as to why she had been hit in the eye?
Y que aparte de eso le explicó de por qué le habían pegado en el ojo.
Me dijo porque mi mamá estaba tomada y no es la primera vez que lo hace.
Because my mother was drunk.
Objection, hearsay, Judge. Hearsay.
Mr. Knudsen, I've already had a running objection to that line of questioning. So
Did you get a translation of that?
can you repeat the translation, Mr. Gallegos?
Because
¿Lo repito otra vez?
sí, por favor lo repite porque ya lo había dicho y se me.
Ok, no se preocupe. La razón fue que me dijo que mi mamá me había pegado porque andaba tomada y no es la primera vez.
The reason that she hit me is because my mother was drunk and it's not the first time that she's done it.
As a result of the child telling you that, did you have occasion to contact the guardian ad litem appointed by the court?
Como resultado de lo que le dijo la niña, usted tuvo oportunidad de contactar al abogado ad litem.
Antes de eso yo le mandé un recado a la mamá.
Before that, I sent the mother a message.
Diciéndole que el deber es educar, más lo que yo no entiendo es la violencia.
That her duty is to educate, and what I don't understand is the violence.
Después, cuando la niña me dijo que la había golpeado la mamá en la cara,
After the child told me that her mother had hit her in the face,
yo le hablé a Silverio.
I called Silverio.
Le dije, yo entiendo que el regañar a una niña
I understand a child getting scolded.
es una nalgada o con el cinto, la chancla, pero no voy a entender. Sí.
With a spanking with a sandal or a belt.
Pero lo que no entiendo es por qué golpear a una niña de 7 años en la cara.
What I don't understand is why he hit a child of 7 years on the face.
Yo dejé que Silverio fuera a visitar a la niña.
I allowed Mr. Silverio to go visit the child.
Yo no estuve presente
I was not present.
y él me comentó, y yo lo mandé a una escuela privada que tengo a la niña.
And I sent him to a private school where I have the child.
Y él me dijo, prefiero ir a tu casa
And he
porque he
told me I'd rather go to your house.
ido 4 veces a casa de su mamá.
I've gone 4 times to the house of her mother.
A tu casa nada más he ido una vez.
And to your house, I've only gone once.
Y yo siento a la niña más abierta en tu casa.
And I feel the child she's more open at your house.
Le dije, Silverio, entonces tú tienes la respuesta. Si tú sabes que la niña está más abierta en mi casa, ¿por qué no haces?
Judge, now he's going into hearsay of what the ad litem said.
I already have the ad litem's report here in front of me, Mr.
Right.
Knowles.
All right.
His statements.
And did ultimately Mr. Martinez interview the child at your house?
Y últimamente el señor Silverio entrevistó a la criatura ahí en su casa.
Siento que estábamos aquí todos presentes la última vez que nos vimos.
I feel that we were all present the last time that we saw each other.
Y Silverio, como guardián que es de la niña,
And Mr. Silverio, as the guardian that he is for the child,
dijo, yo no voy a ver qué me está diciendo el señor Álvarez, qué me está diciendo la señora Caso. Yo voy a ver.
I'm not going to see what Mr. Alvarez is telling me, nor what Ms. Caso is telling me.
Yo estoy obedeciendo o yo estoy reportando lo que la niña está diciendo.
I am reporting what the child is telling me.
And
Y si
is that
Yeah.
what you filed, you requested to file this emergency motion regarding the custody of the child?
Y es por eso que se recibió esta moción referente a la custodia de la niña.
A ver, otra vez.
Is that why you have filed this request to get custody of the child?
Y es por eso que usted ha archivado esta solicitud para obtener custodia de la niña.
Yo nunca voy a estar de,
¿Te resumo un poquito?
yo nunca voy a estar de acuerdo en que la niña se le pegue en la cara.
I will never be in agreement that the child be hit on the face.
El juez dijo la vez pasada que era un incidente, que no iba a determinar nada porque era un incidente, pero no es la primera vez y nunca voy a aceptar que a mi hija le peguen en la cara, porque tiene
The
7
judge
años.
last time said that it was an incident and that it wasn't going to determine anything. It is not the first time, and I'm not going to allow anyone to hit my child in the face.
Bien.
And Mr. Alvarez,
La niña él.
what if anything had she told you?
I think we're getting some interference.
It says she's on mute, but she's coming through. Ms. Caso. Ms. Caso, for some reason, your mute button is not working. You might need to keep it
It
down.
was mine, Judge. It was mine. I just put it on mute. She's in my room, that's why.
Oh, okay.
What if anything had the child told you with the situation of having to live 1 week with you and 1 week with her mother?
Judge, that's irrelevant because number one is we have a mediated settlement agreement. They don't get to modify it. Oh, it's not convenient now. They agreed to that until the trial, and it's not in their pleading, so I object.
Well, Mr.
The
Knotson,
only basis is
any change in the condition of the child's welfare, these are temporary orders which are subject to change. So
I
overruled.
think the agreement says that, Judge. I think
I know what the agreement says, but I've changed the agreement already a couple of times. And if you don't want me to change the agreement, that would apply also to maybe giving your client access to some of the businesses too, Mr. Knotson. So be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think we want, well, okay, that's fine.
Do you remember the question, sir?
Yes, I remember the question. ¿Qué si alguna cosa le ha dicho la niña en relación de pasar una semana con usted y una semana con su madre?
No, La niña ya misma, mamá me ha dicho que la niña desde temprano los domingos se quiere venir conmigo, o sea, no está a gusto con su mamá. Yo vivo en una casa muy chiquita y ella vive en un palacio y prefiere la niña estar conmigo porque en mi casa hay un hogar.
The child, since very early, has told me that she doesn't want to spend time with her mother. I live in a very small house and she lives in the palace, yet the child would rather spend time in my house.
As a,
Porque mi casa tiene un hogar.
In my house, she has a home.
as a witness, Your Honor.
Mr.
Yes, Mr. Alvarez. Now, you said you called the ad litem to talk to him about this alleged outcry by your daughter, correct?
Dice que usted le habló al abogado ad litem para informarle de esta alegación que hizo la niña. ¿Es eso correcto?
En cuanto la niña me dijo que le habían pegado, sí.
As to when the child told me that she had been hit, yes.
Okay. So this, she told you this on about the 23rd?
Y le dijo esto alrededor del 23.
¿Perdón?
Y le dijo esto alrededor del 23
Of February.
de febrero.
La niña me lo dijo el domingo.
The child told me on Sunday.
Y de
Okay.
hecho tengo un escrito donde yo le estoy mandando a la mamá un texto diciéndole que por qué la golpea.
And in fact, I have something written down and where I sent the mom a text asking her why she would hit her or why she hits her.
Okay, so we'd ask Your Honor to take judicial notice that Sunday was February 21st, 2021.
I got it already. That's what I was checking.
Okay, so in your affidavit, you said this happened on February 23rd, so you were mistaken. It wasn't on Tuesday, it was on Sunday.
En su declaración jurada, usted dijo que esto sucedió en el 23. Usted estaba equivocado. Este sucedió el jueves, no el domingo.
Your Honor, I object.
No entendí la pregunta.
It mischaracterizes what's in the affidavit.
Well, I'm looking at it, Judge. Where is it mischaracterized? Paragraph 4. On or about February 23rd, my daughter expressed to me about the incident. I mean, is he not reading it or did he forget about that? How does it mischaracterize that? I'd ask the court to take judicial notice. I'm not mischaracterizing anything because I don't do that.
Oh, that's my
Okay.
objection.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Sunday is the 21st. I mean,
Right. And the affidavit does say the 23rd, so I'm trying to clarify, and that goes to credibility.
well, yeah, it says on or about, Mr. Knudsen. I mean,
Right. So, sir, do you remember the question, Mr. Gallegos?
No, could you go ahead and repeat it again?
Yeah.
You all
So when you said in your sworn affidavit that it was on or about February 23rd, which is a Tuesday, you were mistaken, correct?
Cuando usted dijo que el incidente ocurrió el 23 de febrero, que viene siendo un martes, ¿usted estaba equivocado?
No.
No.
Yo no sé cuándo fue cuando la mamá le pegó. El
don't
domingo
know.
ella me
No,
estuvo hablando.
let
No,
them finish. Let them finish.
I don't know when the mother hit her on Sunday. El domingo continúa.
Sí, el domingo fue cuando la niña me dijo.
On Sunday was when the child told me.
Okay. And what I'm saying, sir, so we are clear that your affidavit states that on or about February 23rd, which is a Tuesday, your daughter told you that Miss Caso hit her in the face. You were mistaken.
Y para lo que estoy diciendo y para estar claros, para estar claro en su declaración jurídica o declaración jurada, cuando dice usted, el 23 de febrero del 2020, mi niña me expresó que
21.
the 23rd, el 23 de febrero, la niña me expresó que su madre le había pegado en la cara. And what was
And you were mistaken, correct?
y usted estaba equivocado, ¿es eso correcto?
No entendí la pregunta. Otra vez.
I did not understand the question.
Okay. Your affidavit states, translate that.
Su declaración jurada dice
That your daughter told you on Tuesday, February 23rd, that Miss Caso
que su
had
hija
hit
le
her in the
dijo,
face previously.
que su hija le dijo el 23 de febrero del 2020 que la señora Caso le había pegado en la cara previamente.
Me dijo el domingo y me dijo el martes.
She told me on Sunday and she told me on Tuesday.
Okay. So, and when did you meet with Silverio Martinez?
¿Y cuándo fue que usted se citó con el señor o vio al señor Silverio Martínez?
No, yo no vi al señor Silverio Martínez.
No, I didn't see or meet Mr. Silverio Martínez.
I thought you told the judge that he interviewed your daughter.
Ah, sí, la vio él. Yo no la vi. La vio el señor Martínez fue a mi casa a ver a la niña.
Mr. Silverio Martinez was the one that saw her. He didn't
Okay.
see me. Mr. Silverio Martinez came to my house to see my daughter.
But you told Manuel Flores, your lawyer, that I contacted the ad litem Silverio Martinez. Did you call him or not?
Pero usted le dijo a su abogado, al señor Flores, que usted contactó al señor Silverio Martínez.
Sí.
¿Usted le llamó o no?
No, es que ahorita la pregunta fue que si yo había visto al señor Martínez y mi respuesta fue que no. Yo le hablé al señor Martínez, pero no lo vi.
Your previous question was whether I had seen Mr. Silverio Martinez, and the response was no.
Okay, so you left your daughter alone
Can
in the
you let him
house.
finish the translation, sir?
Yeah, let him, Mr. Knudsen.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and the last part was I called Mr. Silverio Martinez. I did
Okay.
not see him.
All right. So you left your daughter alone in the house. You left because you just told the judge you never saw him. So your daughter opened the door, let him in, and he interviewed her by themselves? That's what you're telling the judge?
Your Honor, I object. That's argumentative. Both parties know that they have nannies.
No. Go ahead. Translate, please.
It's an argumentative question, Your Honor. I object.
Can the bailiff translate, Judge? Or is he on mute? I think he's on mute.
No, there is an objection. I have to wait till the judge directs.
I want to overrule the objection. I wanted to answer to that last question. And which was whether he left the house before Mr. Martinez got there.
La pregunta es, entonces usted dejó a su niña sola y se fue del hogar y la
No.
niña fue la que abrió la puerta y dejó
No.
al señor Silverio
No.
entrar.
La niña siempre está con la niñera cuando yo me voy a trabajar.
The child is always with the nanny when I leave to go to work.
Y fue a la hora que ella salió de la escuela a las 3 de la tarde.
And he went over at the time that she gets out of school, which was at 3 in the afternoon.
Y cuando la niñera fue a recoger a la niña a la escuela, cuando llegó a la casa fue cuando Silverio llegó ahí.
And when the nanny went to pick up the child at the school and they returned home, that's when Mr. Silverio arrives at the house.
Okay, when did Silverio, what day did he arrive, on Tuesday or the 23rd, or what day did he arrive?
¿Y en qué fecha fue que llegó el señor Silverio a su casa? ¿Fue el martes, el 23, o en qué día o fecha fue que él fue a la casa a ver a la niña?
Creo que fue el miércoles. si no me
I
equivoco.
believe it was on Wednesday.
The day after your daughter told you, well, I mean, if your daughter told you on Sunday, the 21st, and she told you again the 23rd, tell the judge when you call Silverio, on Sunday or on Monday or on Tuesday or on Wednesday. When
Okay.
did you call Silverio?
Eso ya lo entendí y se los voy a explicar muy bien.
That I did understand, and I'm going to explain it to you very well.
Ok. Cuando la niña el domingo me dijo que la mamá le había pegado,
When the child on Sunday told me that her mother had hit her,
no me dijo dónde le había pegado.
she didn't tell me where she had hit her.
Yo le mandé un recado a la mamá
I sent the mother a message
diciéndole, el deber ser es educar.
telling her your duty is to educate,
Mas no entiendo la violencia.
and I don't understand the violence.
Hasta el martes la niña me dijo, mi mamá me pegó en la cara.
Until Tuesday, the child told me my mother hit me on the face.
Ese mismo día le hablé a Silverio y le digo, necesitas venir a hablar con la niña, el martes. Y creo que Silverio fue el miércoles a la casa a hablar con ella.
That same day, I called Silverio and told him that he needed to come to speak with the child, and that was on Tuesday. And I believe Mr. Silverio came to the house on Wednesday.
Okay. All right, this is very interesting. So what you're telling the judge is that on Sunday, your child told you, my mom hit me, but she didn't tell you where, and you didn't give a crap about your daughter and didn't ask, where did your mom hit you?
Your Honor, that's
Mr.
argumentative and repetitive. I object.
Yeah, Mr. Knudsen,
I'll rephrase, Judge.
No,
So
I
what
asked
you're
you go on
saying
something
is-
else, Your Honor, not be repetitious,
No,
especially
no, no. This
using
is
words like
very relevant. I mean, because it's not believable, Judge. It's incredulous that any parent would say, oh,
I object to any
Mommy
argument
hit
at this
me,
point, Your Honor.
but you don't ask
That's
where did they
sustained.
hit you? His story is unraveling as we speak.
I ask that he ask a question and stop arguing to the court at this point.
Okay.
and
So,
Mr.
Mr. Alvarez, the child told you that the mother hit her, but you didn't ask on Sunday, where did she hit you? Is that what you're telling the judge?
La niña le dijo que su madre la había golpeado. ¿Y usted no le preguntó a la niña dónde la madre le había pegado? ¿Esto
Yo
es lo
me
que
di
usted
cuenta,
está diciendo el juez?
sí, yo me di cuenta de dónde le había pegado porque el martes la abracé y me dijo, me duele mi ojo. Ahí fue como me di cuenta,
I found out where the mother had hit her because when I embraced her, she told me her eye hurt. And that's when I found out.
And for the record, Judge, the translation, he said, when I gave her a hug on Tuesday, that was not translated.
No, I got that, Mr. Knudsen. Mr.
Okay.
Knudsen, and I see you've made your point on the issue regarding the timeline.
But Judge, I just want to ask, my question wasn't, sir, you know, when your daughter told you on Sunday that she was hit by her mother, on Sunday, did
Yes.
you ask her, where did your mother hit you?
Your Honor, she already explained that.
Judge, that's relevant.
Mr.
If he
Knudsen
said,
just wasn't
nah, I didn't care, well,
No,
then
he-
fine.
He didn't say that, Mr. Knudsen.
No,
No.
I want to ask. No, I didn't ask her. And then that's a credibility issue you take into account.
Well, ask that question then.
Okay. On Sunday, when your daughter told you that the mother hit her, did you ask her, where did she hit you? On Sunday, did you ask her that?
El domingo, cuando la niña le informó que su madre le había pegado, ¿usted le preguntó a la niña dónde fue que la madre le pegó?
No, yo no le pregunté a la niña.
No, I did not ask the child.
All right. Okay, I think it's becoming clear. So on Sunday, tell the judge what hospital you took your daughter to.
El domingo,
Mr.
juez, ¿a qué hospital la llevó?
Objection, Your Honor. That's
¿Sabe qué? Siento que esa pregunta es ofensiva.
No conteste una objeción de parte de su abogado.
I'm
Cuando
gonna
hay una
stay.
objeción, necesita esperar hasta que el juez diga si contesta o no contesta.
Okay.
Okay, we've covered the timeline and the court's already been made aware.
No, but Judge, this is important because it's not a serious, I want to find out, you know, did he take the child to the hospital? Did he take the child to a doctor? So he could either say yes or no, and that's going to be very, very.
Ask that question then.
Okay. Did you take your child to a hospital? Yes or no?
La pregunta es, ¿llevó usted a la niña al hospital? ¿Sí o no?
No.
No.
Did you take your child to a doctor? Yes or no?
¿Llevó usted a la niña a ver un doctor? ¿Sí o no?
No.
No.
And if it was something serious, you would have taken your child to a doctor because that would have been the correct thing to do, or to a doctor, correct?
Y si hubiera sido algo serio, usted hubiera llevado a la niña al hospital o a ver a un doctor, porque eso es lo normal que hay que hacer. ¿Correcto? ¿Sí o no?
Correcto.
Correct.
Now, isn't it true? Weren't you in Monterey that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
It's irrelevant, Your Honor, where he was.
Judge, it's relevant. Was he there? If he was in Monterey on Tuesday, how could he have hugged her?
The child
How could he have hugged her?
was with the mother.
It goes to truth, Judge.
He was
Hold
not-
on. Is the question is directed whether he was in Laredo between the 21st and the 25th? Is that?
Yes, I'm asking if he was in Monterey, because I think he was, Miss Castro was advising me, he was in Monterey for work that week, and the nanny was there with the child.
I'm going to allow that.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure.
Que no es cierto que usted estaba en Monterrey esa semana, el lunes, martes, miércoles y jueves.
¿Otra vez?
Que no es cierto que usted estaba en Monterrey el lunes, martes, miércoles y jueves.
Your Honor, I object unless the question also says at the time that the child was in the custody of the mother.
What?
Wait.
I think he translated it properly, Judge, or did he mistranslate it?
I know, and the question does not ask, because he's not going to know if he's being asked about when the child was with him or with the mother.
No. I'm asking the week that this occurred, just so we're clear, the week that this incident occurred, when she told you on Sunday and again on Tuesday, were you in Monterey at any time on that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday for work or anything else?
La semana en que ocurrió el incidente, sea el domingo o el martes, ¿estaba usted en Monterrey el lunes, martes, miércoles?
El martes y miércoles estaba aquí.
Tuesday and Wednesday I was here.
And again, I object because we don't know if he's asking on the Sunday and Tuesday when he was told or when the incident occurred, Your Honor.
Judge, you already overruled his objection. I'm asking, was he in Monterey?
And now I have a calendar right in front of me, and if I'm correct, and I'll ask the attorneys this, the week between the 21st and the 28th, the child was with the father. That's my understanding. Correct?
That's my understanding also, Judge. So that's why I'm asking, was he in Monterey on Monday, the 22nd, Tuesday, the 23rd, Wednesday, the 24th, or Thursday, the 25th? Was he in Monterey any of those days?
Yeah, okay.
La pregunta es básicamente que durante la semana del 21 al 28, el lunes 22, el martes 23, el miércoles 24 y el jueves 25, En alguno de esos días estaba usted en Monterrey.
Otra vez, a mí la niña se me entregó el 21.
I took possession of the child on the 21st. Y la pregunta que es de parte del señor Natson es que durante la semana del 21 al 28, en alguno de estos días, el lunes 22, el martes 23, el miércoles 24 o el jueves 25, estaba usted en Monterrey.
Estuve el lunes 22.
I was there on Monday the 22nd.
So you were only there on Monday, not any Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You were not there. That's what you're saying under oath.
So, bajo juramento, usted está diciendo que solamente estaba en Monterrey el 22. No estaba ahí el martes, el miércoles o el jueves.
Yo estuve en Laredo el 23.
I was here in Laredo on the 23rd.
Objection non-responsive, Judge. Did you understand my question?
I thought he answered the question.
No, he said he was there the 23rd in Laredo, but my question was, you're telling the judge you were not in Monterrey on the 23rd, the 24th, or 25th. I want a direct answer to that question.
Quiero una contestación directa a mi pregunta. A usted le está diciendo al juez que usted no estaba en Monterrey el 23, el 24, ni el lunes 23, perdón, el martes 23, el miércoles 24, ni el jueves 25.
Yo estuve en Monterrey el lunes 22.
I was in Monterrey on Monday the 22nd.
Y el martes 23 en la mañana.
And in the morning of Tuesday the 23rd.
Y llegué a la casa el martes 23 como, no sé, eso a las 5 o 6 de la tarde.
And I arrived home on Tuesday the 23rd at around 5 or 6 in the afternoon.
All right. So, and just for the record, Judge, now we're getting the truth, having to ask it 4 or 5 different times. And so it was on Tuesday the 23rd.
The court is able to follow the question and answer, Mr. Natson. Just keep asking questions.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get to the truth, Judge, and I think it's coming out slowly, but surely. Sir, so you arrived around 5 o'clock. When was it that you gave your daughter a hug that you found out about this?
Señor, usted llegó como a las 5 de la tarde. ¿Y cuándo fue que usted le dio el abrazo a su hija y se dio cuenta del incidente?
Pues, sinceramente, no sé a qué hora la abracé. O sea, llegué, la vi, la abracé, pero le puedo decir exactamente la hora porque fue inmediatamente cuando la niña me dijo que le habían pegado en la cara, le hablé a Silverio.
Sincerely, I can't tell you the exact hour when I embraced her. I got home, I saw my daughter, I embraced her, and I can tell you the hour when I called Silverio.
Okay. Hold on, let me see here. When did you call Silverio?
¿Y a qué hora fue que usted llamó al señor Silverio?
Ahorita le voy a decir exactamente la hora.
I'm going to tell you in a little bit the exact hour.
A las 8:46 le hablé a Silverio.
I called Silverio at 8:46.
Del
And
martes de febrero 23.
On February the 23rd.
And just so it's clear, that's at 8:46 p.m. in the evening, correct?
Y nomás para estar claros, eso fue a las 8:46 de la tarde, ¿verdad?
Del martes 23.
Yes, from Tuesday the 23rd.
No miento, sí es martes 23. Déjame decirle exactamente.
Yes, it was on Tuesday the 23rd.
Okay. And Silverio, did he tell you to take her to the hospital or the doctor at that time?
¿Y el señor Silverio le dijo a usted que la llevara al hospital o a ver un doctor a ese tiempo?
No, la pregunta de Silverio
No, the
fue
question of Mr. Silverio was
que si se le veían algunos golpes a la niña en la cara.
if I could see any blows on the child on her face.
And what
Any
did you
signs
tell
of
him?
blows. ¿Y qué fue lo que
No.
le contestó usted?
No, yo no le veo nada.
No, I don't see anything.
Okay. And Silverio met with her the next day on the 24th?
Y el Silverio vio a la niña el siguiente día, el miércoles 24.
Sí, así es.
Yes, that's right.
Were you home when he met with her?
¿Y estaba usted en casa cuando él vio a la niña?
No, estaba ya nada más con la niñera.
No, she was only with her nanny.
Where were you?
¿Y dónde estaba usted?
En mi
Objection, Your Honor, it's irrelevant.
Can answer. Go, overruled.
en mi oficina.
In my office.
Okay. So that was more important than being there when your child was interviewed.
Objection,
I'm gonna
argumentative.
sustain that, Miss.
I'm just trying to show that this was nothing serious or
Objection.
severe,
Been
because
sustained.
obviously
Ask the
any
question then.
would have been there.
You could ask that, you can ask that question, but
Okay.
not the.
So you didn't think this was something that was severe? If not, you would have been there. Or is that correct?
So, ¿usted no pensó que esto era algo severo si no hubiera estado allí en casa con ella? ¿Es eso correcto?
Siento que Silverio me pidió que no estuviera yo ahí, que es recomendable que no estuviera yo ahí.
Mr. Silverio asked me not to be there. It was recommended that I wouldn't be there at the house.
Okay. Objection, non-responsive, and hearsay. Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Non-responsive
it's not
and hearsay.
hearsay. He simply responded to the question that was asked.
Yeah.
This is like the answer.
Overruled. Overruled. I'm gonna allow that.
After Silverio's interview, did he tell you to take the child to the hospital or the doctor?
Objection, repetitious.
We already
I
have,
asked before, and then I asked after he met with her, where he observed her himself. So I think that's extremely relevant.
Your Honor, Mr. Martinez already testified as to that. It's on the record that there were no visible injuries on the child.
the court's aware that she was not taken to a healthcare provider or other facility.
All right. Now, so the first time you were aware of the child being hit was when she told you on Sunday, is that correct? Is that your sworn testimony?
So, la primera vez que usted se dio cuenta que a la niña se le había pegado fue el domingo. ¿Ese es su testimonio jurídico?
Me habló por teléfono la niña y me dijo que su mamá le había pegado. Fue por teléfono. Cuando todavía estaba con la mamá.
The child called me over the phone and she told me that her mom had hit her. It was done over the phone.
Y la niña estaba con su mamá.
And the child was with her mother.
Okay. Did you call the police?
¿Le habló usted a la policía?
Hablé con la mamá.
I thought,
Objection, non-responsive. Sir, do you not understand my questions?
Okay, let me admonish the witness, Mr. Nelson.
If you could ask them to please listen to the question, answer the
Yeah,
question.
Mr. Watson, I know my role. Mr.
Thank you.
Alvarez, the question was whether or not you had called the police. Yes or no?
La pregunta fue solamente que si usted le había llamado a la policía. Conteste sí o no.
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 Did you go to the mother's house, your wife's house, and to see how she was after she told you this?
¿Y fue usted a la casa de la madre después de que ella le informó que le había pegado a su mamá para ver cómo estaba ella?
No.
No.
And if you thought this was something serious, you would have gone there immediately, correct?
Si usted hubiera pensado que esto era algo serio, usted hubiera ido para allá inmediatamente, ¿correcto?
Le hubiera hablado a la policía.
I would have called the police.
All right. Now, you understand, and you swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God,
He
correct?
knows he's under oath, Mr. Knudsen. What's the question?
Okay, the question is, why didn't you tell the judge that Diana Caso called you to talk to you about this incident? Did she call you to tell you about this incident?
¿Por qué no le informó usted al juez que la señora Diana Castro le llamó a usted para informarle de este incidente? Ella le informó de este incidente.
¿Quién?
Diana Caso.
No. No, de ella no me dijo de este incidente.
No,
Después de que la niña me habló más de 5 veces el domingo que fuera a recogerla.
No, Diana Castro didn't tell me about this incident. After the child called me about 5 times for me to go pick her up.
Fue cuando le dije, a ver, pásame a tu mamá para preguntar por qué quieres tú que ya vaya a recogerte.
Please put your mother on the phone so I can find out why it is that you want me to go pick you up.
Y la mamá me respondió que se lo merecía, que la niña se estaba portando muy mal, pero nunca me dijo que le había pegado.
And,
La mamá.
And her mother told me that she deserved it, that she was misbehaving, but she never told me that she had hit her.
So he told you that the child was misbehaving.
So ella le dijo que la niña se estaba portando mal.
Sí.
Yes.
Pero yo no sabía que la mamá estaba tomada, tampoco, porque no la estaba viendo.
But I didn't know that the mother was drunk.
Okay. So she didn't sound drunk to you when you talked to her, correct?
Pero ella no se escuchaba tomada cuando usted habló con ella, ¿correcto?
Viví con ella más de 20 años y ella puede tomar 2 días y no te puedes dar cuenta que está tomada.
I lived with
Objection
her
on-
for more than 20 years.
All right, we're getting off track here again, Mr. Knudsen. Your point's been made.
So let me see here. So let me see my. Let me move on to something else. Isn't it true there was an incident where your girlfriend pushed your daughter?
El caso, sucedió un incidente donde su novia, empujó a su hija.
Tell us about that.
Yes, Your Honor, that's relevant.
No
That
sé de qué me habla.
pleading file, nothing in that regard.
No sé de qué.
Well, Judge, it's relevant. I mean, if he's concerned about the daughter being hit, I mean, obviously, if the girlfriend assaulted the daughter, is that something of concern to him or not? It's completely relevant to this issue.
Y no tengo novia. Okay.
I withdraw the objection, Your Honor. Go ahead and let him answer.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Did one of your girlfriends, a friend that's a girl, push your daughter, or are you telling the judge under oath you were not aware of an incident where a girl pushed your daughter?
Alguna de sus amigas femeninas empujó a su hija, o usted le está informando al juez que usted no está consciente de algún incidente en que alguna de sus amigas empujó a su hija.
No, eso no, nunca ha pasado.
No, that has never happened.
Are you aware of your daughter telling anyone in the ad litem that she was pushed
Usted
by a girl?
¿Usted está consciente de que su hija le haya informado al abogado del ítem de que ella fue empujada por alguna de las mujeres?
I object, Your Honor, that would be a question for the ad litem.
Yeah, I agree, and this is something that I'll take up with the child.
Okay. Yeah, if you can just ask her if there was a lady that pushed her. We don't know the name, but apparently it was his
Your Honor,
girlfriend.
again, I object. Let him ask the questions and forget the argument.
Yeah, that is argumentative, Mr. Knopf.
Okay.
Sí, de ellos no saben.
So,
Esa no fue la que lo golpeó.
I know. And so you're saying that you don't have a girlfriend. Did you have a girlfriend?
Usted está diciendo que no
Your
tiene...
Honor, I object into this. You know, if we're going to get into their personal lives with regards
It's
to
credibility, Judge.
we're never
just a
going to
quick
finish.
question.
Because I also have a lot of questions about Ms. Caso's behavior.
Yeah, the court's going to be concerned about the incident that we're discussing here today, which is the slap. And
Yeah.
I've seen the court file and the response to discovery, which makes reference to an incident.
¿Cómo se llama el
Or-
nanny?
Yuri Pulido. Y yo las
What?
llevé.
What is the name of the nanny, sir?
¿Qué es el nombre de la cuidandera?
Yuridia Pulido.
Judy what?
Pulido.
Okay. And is she a believable person?
I'm gonna,
¿Es una
I'm gonna-
persona crédula?
Do you believe that she's a truthful
I
person?
object to, Your Honor, whether he believes somebody is credible or not, that's up to the court.
That's speculation, that's speculative also. Okay,
Is she an honest person, sir?
Same thing, Your Honor, same objection.
Yeah,
What was your
I'm gonna
ruling, Judge?
sustain, I want to sustain that. It calls for speculation on the part of the witness at this point.
Based on your observation, how long has Judy Pulido worked with you and Ms. Caso?
Basado en su observación, ¿por cuánto tiempo ha trabajado la señora Yuri Pulido con usted y la señora Caso?
Ya tiene varios tiempo, pero está amenazada por la mamá.
She's got some time, but she's been threatened by the mother.
Objection non-responsive, Judge. Can you please instruct the witness?
Yes. Mr. Alvarez, try to listen to the question of the attorney and answer only the question that's being asked.
And I'd ask that any non-responsive be stricken from the record.
Básicamente lo que el juez le está informando, que trate de contestar la pregunta que se le hace y nada más la pregunta que se le ha hecho.
The judge, Mr. Knotson.
And how long has she worked with you all?
¿Y por
1
cuánto-
year, 2 years, how long?
¿Y por cuánto
More
tiempo?
than 3 years.
More than 3 years, is that what he said?
More than 3 years.
Thank you, sir. And based on your observation, is she an honest person?
Objection, Your Honor, is repetitious and already objected to and sustained.
Sustained, Mr. Knotson. Okay, the court will make the determination if any witness is brought before the court.
Okay. Okay. Oh, have you did you tell your daughter have you talked to your daughter about this lawsuit and the facts of this divorce?
¿Le ha hablado usted a su hija tocante esta demanda y los hechos de este divorcio?
No.
No.
Did you tell your daughter that you're the one that bought the house and you're the one paying for the house that she lives in?
¿Y le dijo usted a su hija que usted fue el que compró la casa y dando los pagos o pagando por la casa en la que ella vive?
Lo que pasa es que la niña viene y me dice que ella vive con su mamá y
What's happening is that my daughter comes and she tells me that she is living with her mother
viene de visita a visitarme a mí.
and she comes to visit or she
Objection. On
Just
suggest a yes or a no.
to visit me.
Again,
She's
Mr.
trying to she's trying to explain the circumstances under which something may have been said about the house, Your Honor. That's the question.
Either he told her that or he didn't.
I agree with Mr. Knudsen. The question was whether or not he had told his daughter that he had bought the house. Can you repeat the question, Mr. Gallegos?
Y la pregunta es básicamente si usted le había dicho a su hija que usted era el que había comprado la casa y están requiriendo una contestación de sí o no.
Los dos compramos la casa, es lo que le he dicho a mi hija, tanto su mamá como su papá.
I've told my daughter that both of us have bought the house, as well as me and her mom, as well as her mom and me.
Okay, so the answer is I've never told my daughter that I am the one
Honor,
that.
that's not what he said. That's not what he said.
That's exactly.
Judge, I'm trying to clarify it.
Okay, we'll clarify and don't put words in his mouth.
No.
¿Podría yo hablar algo? Estamos
No.
hablando de una cosa, no de todo lo que está pasando. Digo, ¿cuál es el fin o qué es lo que quiere saber? Usted habla español, Mr. Knudsen. Yo he
Sí,
platicado.
claro, hablo español.
Hold on.
Yo quiero saber claramente
Hold
si.
on, before we address, Mr. Alvarez, you need to just try to answer the questions that are being asked. Mr. Knudsen, do you have a question?
Yes, Judge. My question was, have you ever told your daughter
She's
that you were
answered
the
that.
one that bought the house,
That's been
or
answered.
that you were the one making the payments on the house? And you said, I told my daughter that we both bought the house. So
That's-
by inference, you're saying, you're telling the Judge
Don't
Garcia.
argue, Mr. Knudsen, don't argue anymore. I'm following the testimony. You don't
Yeah.
need to spell it out for me.
Oh, no. So I'm trying to spell it out for him, Judge. So you're telling the judge that you never told your daughter that you're the one making the payments, that you're the one that bought the house.
Mr. Knudsen, he's already answered that question. He told the child that they both bought the house. Do you have another question?
But he could have also told the child, well, I did tell her that I'm the one that bought the house.
He didn't
I
say.
just want, because if you ask the child and she says, no, my dad told me he bought it, well, then you know he is a liar and we'll send it to Chilo Alani.
Don't argue to me right now, Mr. Knudsen. Do you have any other questions?
Yes. Are you trying to change the custody to gain an advantage in this divorce negotiation?
Usted está tratando de, could you repeat it again? I lost track of the question, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Are you trying to get custody to gain an advantage in the divorce settlement?
Objection, Your Honor, that's argumentative.
I don't think so, Judge.
No, I'm going to allow that question.
Usted está tratando de cambiar la custodia para obtener una ventaja en
The property settlement.
sí, en el juicio de la propiedad.
Por supuesto que no.
Definitely not.
Okay. Did your wife tell you she found several messages of your daughter saying bad words? Is that true?
Su esposa le informó que le encontró varios mensajes de su hija diciendo malas palabras. ¿Es eso correcto?
Esa fue su contestación del domingo cuando la niña me estaba hablando.
That was her answer on Sunday when the child was calling me.
That's what Diana told you.
Fue lo que Diana le dijo.
Después de la quinta llamada y la niña ven por mí, dije, a ver, pásame a tu mamá para saber qué está pasando.
After the fifth call, where the child was telling me to go to pick her up, I told her to put her mom on the phone, and that's when she told me.
Okay. And that's what I'm trying to clarify. That's what Diana, your wife, told you, correct?
Estoy tratando de clarificar. Eso fue lo que su esposa Diana le informó o le dijo.
Eso fue lo que me dijo, más no me dijo que le había pegado en la cara.
That's what she told me, but she didn't tell me she had hit her on the face.
Le iba a quitar el teléfono.
Okay.
Y ya se quedó.
Did Ms. Caso tell you that she took her phone away also?
La señora Caso le informó, le dijo que le había quitado el teléfono también,
As punishment for saying those bad words?
como castigo por decir esas malas palabras o maldiciones.
A ver, ¿me puede repetir la pregunta?
La señora Caso le informó, le dijo a usted que le había quitado el teléfono a la niña como castigo por haber dicho esas maldiciones o malas palabras.
No.
No.
So if Ms. Caso says she told you that, she would be lying.
So, si la señora Caso dice que le dijo eso, ella estaría mintiendo.
Otra vez la pregunta, es que no sé a dónde quiere llegar o qué quiere saber.
Please,
Me han preguntado eso como
what you're
10
saying or
veces,
where
pero
you
no sé
wanna
qué.
arrive at.
Go ahead, Mr. Gallegos.
Si la señora Caso dice que le había dicho,
Testify.
ella estaría mintiendo,
¿Mintiendo de qué?
de que le informó de que le había quitado el teléfono a la niña por haber dicho mentiras, por haber dicho malas palabras o maldiciones.
Después de la quinta llamada, otra vez, es como la quinta vez que les digo esto, pero bueno.
Once again, this is about the fifth time that I'm telling you this. After the fifth call,
Sí, yo le dije, pásame a tu mamá a ver qué está pasando.
I told her, please put your mom on the phone so I can find out what's happening.
Y la mamá me contestó que la niña se estaba portando mal.
And the mother told me that the child was misbehaving.
Mas no me dijo que le había pegado en la cara.
She didn't tell me she had hit her on the face.
Y ahí está la respuesta por sexta vez.
And here is the response for the sixth time.
All right. Did the daughter tell you when she called you that the mom had hit her, when she called you on the phone?
Su hija le dijo a usted cuando le llamó por teléfono que su mamá le había pegado.
Sí.
Yes.
So why didn't you ask Ms. Caso, did you hit your daughter? Where did you hit her?
¿Y por qué no le preguntó a la señora Caso, le pegó usted a la niña y dónde le pegó?
No, no le pregunté eso a la mamá. Yo estaba más preocupado por qué la niña quería venirse ya conmigo.
I didn't ask that of the mother. I was more worried as to why the child wanted to come with me.
So that's what you were more concerned about. Okay. Now, semana pasada.
Sí.
Semana pasada. Desde aquí.
Voy a decir.
This semana pasada.
Sí.
Okay. This past week, when you had your daughter, were you out of town most of the week?
Again, Your Honor, I object. All of that is irrelevant.
Judge, if he's asking to change it and he's not there most of the time,
Hold on.
clearly it's relevant.
That's right. The father has to work and attend to business. Whether he's there or not there is irrelevant. It's whether the child is cared for and what's in her best interest.
Well, if he's not there, we'll take the child primarily.
Hold on, both sides are arguing now. Yeah, I mean, the father's work schedule is relevant to the court, so be quick about it, Mr. Knudsen. The court's aware that
I
Mr.
will, Judge.
works.
And thank you for your patience.
And
I
that,
appreciate that.
I mean, we're covering stuff that's obvious, but just quickly
Right.
cover his work schedule if you want.
How often do you go out of town or leave Laredo during the week?
¿Qué tan seguido sale usted fuera del pueblo o sale de Laredo durante la semana?
Salgo por lo regular una vez a la semana, cuando la niña no está conmigo, por lo regular.
Regularly, I go out of town once a week when the child is not with me. Regularly, once a week.
Okay, or you had the child last week. Were you out of town any day last week?
Usted tuvo a la niña la
Yeah,
semana
that's
pasada.
repetitious.
Sí,
Yes.
entonces ya lo contesté y me están preguntando otra vez
Yeah,
lo mismo.
I agree, yes. He
I've already
already
answered it.
testified that he was there on Monday and he came back Tuesday morning.
No. I'm talking last week, Judge. This was
23rd.
let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. All right. I got confused there. I apologize. So, and just to wrap it up, anytime in 2021, you've never been, while you've had your daughter, you have not been out of town in 2020, January or February, except the one day, the day and a half you were in Monterey. Is that correct?
En el año 2021, en el mes de enero o febrero, con la excepción de febrero, que estuvo usted fuera por un día y medio, del año 2021, ¿usted nunca ha salido fuera de Laredo o ha estado fuera del pueblo?
When you had your daughter.
Cuando usted tenía posesión de la niña.
Si salgo, me la llevo cuando está conmigo o cuando me la regresaron, no.
If I go out, I take her with her when she's with me or whenever I get possession of the child when she's returned.
How many times have you taken her with you?
¿Y cuántas veces se la ha llevado usted con usted?
Pues cada vez que salgo.
Every time I go out.
Well, has it been 10 times, 3 times?
Han sido 10
Again,
veces, 10
object
veces.
is relevant.
Can't you ask the question, Mr. Knudsen, how many times he's gone out of town in the last 2 months?
How many times have you gone out of town in the last 2 months?
En los últimos 2 meses, ¿cuántas veces ha salido usted fuera del pueblo?
Hijo, eso va a estar, no muchas veces.
Y se dio cuenta.
Not that many times. God bless. Not that
Well,
many.
about how many, sir, is what we're trying to find out. Less than 10, more than 10?
¿Cuántas veces es lo que queremos saber? ¿Más de 10 veces? ¿Menos de 10 veces?
Is that during the time that
¿En qué año? ¿En qué año quieres saber?
Just
In what year is it that you want to know?
question was for the last 2 months, which is 2021.
Ok.
La pregunta fue por los últimos 2 meses del año 2021.
En enero no salí ninguna vez.
In January, I went out one time.
No, wait,
no, I object to the translation.
yeah, me too. I caught that too. I think he said ninguna vez.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I guess
Yeah. it was
January. Excuse me. On January, I never went out.
And February?
¿Y en febrero?
En febrero. Tal vez unas 2 veces.
Probably 2 times.
Okay, so you took your daughter to Monterey with you on the 23rd or the 22nd, 23rd? Because those were the 2 times in February you were out of town, and you just testified
No,
under
Your Honor,
oath that you always take your daughter with you.
mischaracterized the testimony completely.
Yes. He testified he was in Monterrey on the 22nd, came back on the 23rd in the morning.
Right. So you took your daughter with you. Those are the 2 days you were out. You
No,
took
Your
daughter
Honor, he's
with you?
already testified that he didn't.
Yes, I
The
got,
child was with the mother.
I got that.
Well,
Mr.
Judge, he testified a moment ago in
I mean, Your Honor,
2021.
we're going in
When
circles.
I go out of town, I take my daughter with me. So it goes to credibility, Judge. This is,
Cantinflas would do a better job,
I don't
Your
think
Honor.
there's
Please
really much
stop.
credibility here.
Hold on, let's step back here a little bit, both of you. I know what you're driving at, Mr. Knotson, but I think your questions could be a little bit more refined to the issue or to the time sequence. You're asking these open-ended sentence, and we're losing, no fault to you, Mr. Gallegos, a little bit in the translation. So you need to break up your questions, Mr. Knotson.
Well, I think it's been clear. Sir, you testified a moment ago in 2021, when you go out of town, you take your daughter with you. Is that true or false?
Mr.
Your Honor,
Knotson,
again,
hold on, Mr. Flores, I know it was a general question to every time he travels, and the court was aware that he was not limited to 2021 when the first question was asked. And then that's why I asked Mr. Knotson to tailor it down this year. And so, but Mr. Knotson has not got into the specifics of February yet, and that's all he has left.
But the caveat, Your Honor, was when the child is with you,
Yes,
not when the child is with mom.
yes, that's he,
Oh.
Mr. Flores made that abundantly clear.
And Judge, that comment by Judge Flores is illogical because he said, if I have my daughter with me and I go out of town, I would take her with me. So obviously it's not when the child's with mom, you know? But I'll go ahead and clear that up. Is there any time in 2021 you have taken your child with you out of town?
¿Ha habido algún tiempo en el año 2021 en que usted haya llevado a su hija fuera del pueblo?
Así es, la semana pasada, creo. Sí, que la hora que estuvo conmigo, me la llevé a Monterrey.
Yes, the last week when she was with me, I took her to Monterrey.
Okay. And was that the week of February 22nd, the 21st to the 28th? When did you take her?
¿Y esa fue la semana del 21 al 28 de febrero o cuándo fue que usted se la llevó?
Fue el 26, 27 y el 28 la entregué.
It was the 26. Me repite las fechas, perdón, porque perdí con el conteo.
Semana pasado.
Sí, fue el 26 y el 27 y el 28 la entregó, ¿fue lo que dijo?
Sí.
It was on the 26th and the 27th and on the 28th I returned her.
All right, so now we're getting more facts out of here. So the 26th, 27th, 28th, you took your daughter to Monterrey, correct?
So el 26, 27 y el 28 llevó usted a su hija a Monterrey, ¿es eso correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And do you have a girlfriend there?
Again, Your Honor, I've already objected to this. It's already been sustained, and he's
Okay, hold on.
not going into that.
Yeah, and the courts haven't been made aware that the trips to Monterrey have posed any danger to the child at this point, so.
Well, Judge, there's all that danger of drug cartels and all that stuff, and he didn't even advise. Did you advise your wife that you were taking the child
Okay,
out of the country?
there's nothing in the orders I've seen that prevents either parent from traveling with their daughter. So.
Okay.
De la escuela. Que la lleva a las nueve.
Okay, so what time did you leave on the 26th?
Okay, Mr. Knotson, okay, again. I
Did he
haven't-
take her out of school to go
Hold on
on
a
this
second,
trip?
Mr. Knotson. No, he took her on the weekend. He already
No,
testified. to that.
25th, the 26th is Friday. So I want to know if they left after school or during school. Did she miss school? I think that's relevant.
All right, I'll allow that question.
What time did you leave on the 26th?
El sábado.
¿Y a qué horas salieron el 26?
A ver, otra vez la pregunta.
Sí, ¿y a qué horas salieron a Monterrey el 26?
Fue el sábado. Salí el sábado.
I left on Saturday.
Fui
Your
con-
Honor, for the record, he said 26th, 27th, 28th.
o sea,
Looking at his calendar on his phone, you can go back and look at it. He was looking at it, and the 26th is Friday, 27th Saturday, and 28th. You know, sir, you testifying under oath.
Hold on, Mr.
He
Knotson. Well, you can just ask him whether he took her out of school. That's all the court needs to know.
Did you take her out of school on the 26th?
¿La sacó usted de la escuela el 26?
no.
No.
What time did you cross into Mexico? Was it the 26th or 27th? Friday
Yeah.
or Saturday?
Objection,
Yeah,
Your Honor, he already answered it.
Judge, he said the 26th, then he said, no, it was the 27th. I want to pin him down. And if we find out he's lying, I'm positive the court will take appropriate action.
Okay, Mr. Knotson, okay, is there anything else regarding the timeline do you think I need to hear?
Just, did he leave on the 26th or the 27th?
He's answered that. He said he left on the 27th.
Okay, and before he said the 26th. All right, so, all right.
I caught that, Mr. Knotson. I'm here.
And he
Okay.
also testified, Your Honor, that he didn't take her out of school.
Yes,
Right.
I know. I'm just trying to. Well, I'm taking notes. You have a transcript.
¿Pagar cuando cruce o tiene algo para
El hábil. Tiene el hábil
el qué?
hábil. O sea,
¿Qué es eso?
lo que pagas ¡pip! Por mes.
Ah, por mes, ok.
Está revisado.
¿Y podemos lograr algo para enseñar cuando cruzó?
Puedo hablar.
Ok,
Ok, no,
a ver si
enseñe
está
ahí.
mintiendo.
Ujú.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Knotson, do you have any other questions?
Let me look over my notes, Judge.
Lo de la semana.
Oh, and sir, and Judge, if we can just, you agreed to temporary orders on the visitation with the child until the trial, correct?
¿Y usted estaba de acuerdo a las órdenes temporales de visita hasta que se llegue la fecha del juicio conjurado?
You signed that agreement, correct?
¿Usted firmó ese acuerdo? ¿Es eso correcto?
Las órdenes temporales se firmaron en febrero 12.
The temporary orders
Déjeme decirle esto. El juez Hale me dio la niña a mí por completo.
Let me tell you this, Judge Hill gave me the child completely. And the orders were, temporary orders were signed on February the 12th.
And I object to that last part, Judge. Judge Hill didn't give him the child completely. That's a misstatement under oath.
Okay,
No, Your Honor, that's
no,
not a misstatement.
no.
There was a TRO prior to the mediated settlement agreement.
And I'm aware,
About the mediated settlement.
yes, and Mr. Knotson, I went through the pleadings on this. And I know we do not need to recover the partial mediated settlement agreement.
Okay. So, all right. And have you told your daughter anything else about this divorce?
¿Le
Or
ha
not?
dicho usted ¿Alguna otra cosa tocante este divorcio a su hija? ¿Sí o no?
Your Honor, objection, the question is vague.
I agree. I agree. I'm going to sustain. You need to rephrase that. Be a little bit more specific if you want, Mr. Knudsen.
Yes. Have you told your daughter that your wife is the cause of the divorce?
¿Usted le ha dicho a su hija que su esposa es la causa de este divorcio?
Jamás le he hablado mal a mi hija de su mamá.
I've never talked bad to my child about her mother.
Okay. Can he answer the question, Judge?
He did.
Okay.
Just doesn't like
So
the
if you did tell your daughter, you agree that that would be inappropriate.
argumentative.
Okay, I sustain.
That's all I have, Judge.
Can you redirect, Mr. Flores?
What is the most important thing in this divorce to you?
Include us in the file.
What?
We're
Yes.
including filings, just tell the court to order.
What is the most important thing, the most important thing to you in terms of property and the welfare of the child?
¿Qué es lo más importante para usted en términos de la propiedad y su criatura?
Lo más importante para mí es mi hija, que desde que me divorcié, lo primero que he pedido es mi hija y en las 5 mediaciones que he tenido es mi hija, solo mi hija.
The most important thing to me is my daughter. Since I got divorced, it's always been my child. And throughout the 5 mediations that we've had, it's always been my child, my daughter.
Mr. Knudsen has implied that you are seeking this custody and raising these issues with the child because somehow you want to get an advantage regarding the property. What can you tell the court about that?
El señor Knudsen ha estado implicando que la razón que usted quiere la custodia de su hija es porque usted quiere tener una ventaja sobre los resultados de esta demanda. ¿Qué puede explicarle usted al señor juez?
Quiero
¿Qué es
explicarle, sí, claro, y quiero que se lo explique muy bien al juez.
And I want you to explain it very well to the judge. Si nos vamos en pausas, créame que sí se lo explicamos muy bien y en detalle.
Yo quise cambiar por mi hija, por eso me metí en una clínica.
I wanted to change for my child. That's why I went to a clinic, enrolled in a clinic.
En una clínica de rehabilitación, por mi hija.
In a rehabilitation clinic for my daughter.
Y la mamá no me apoyó cuando estuve yo en la clínica.
But her mother did not.
Objection, Judge. That's argumentative and it's non-responsive.
I'm going to let him finish. I'm going to let him finish. Overruled.
De la clínica le hablaron a ella 2 veces para que fuera a internarse.
From the clinic.
Judge, that's hearsay. He's going into hearsay, Judge.
This is a party opponent. You can clear it up when you call your client.
Y la razón es que ella dijo que no consumía drogas y salió bien alta en un examen de antidoping. Ella.
And the reason was that because she said that she didn't consume.
Judge, all of this is irrelevant, Your Honor. This was before the temporary orders. I mean, it's totally irrelevant. Mr.
Flores, yeah, and I'm going to agree a little bit in the sense that this should, if he has something to say about himself, I'm willing to.
If it's about
himself, I'm willing to hear that.
Let me just ask him again, Your Honor.
There's not what I was going to finish the saying is that there's not an opportunity to bash the other side. Go ahead.
What is the most important thing to you in getting this case resolved? What is the most important single thing in this case that you want?
My daughter.
That's a witness.
Any further cross, Mr.?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I'll call Ms. Casco.
Your Honor, can I take a quick bathroom break? It'll be less than 2 minutes.
I'll give both sides 5. I've got to let the pretrial
Court
service
reporter, okay.
and let everyone take a break for about 5 minutes. I have bond reduction hearings, but I'm going to ask them to reschedule those. Well, I'll let pretrial services know. We may have an interruption from the public defender's office, and I'll let them know what I'm going to do. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm going to mute myself while I use my cell.
I'm ready, Judge. ¿Lista?
Sí, ¿me van a contarme algo?
As soon as everyone gets back.
All right.
Is Ms. Caso able to testify in English?
Puedo mezclarlo.
Well, yeah, after the question, if she understands it, I'll tell her to answer it. She may answer it. No, let me put myself on mute. There. No. What's wrong with my deal here?
You all are in the same room, right? Mr. Knudsen? You're on mute. You're both on mute now, Mr. Knudsen.
Hold el mío y dame el tuyo.
Okay.
And I'll put it on mute y tú
Aquí está el mute.
usas el mío. Ponlo en mute.
Ahí está el mute, creo.
Ok. A ver cómo está ahí. ¿Está bien?
Sí.
I can hear your voice just fine, Mr. Knudsen, so leave it like
Okay.
that.
All right. How do I get the other deal? Okay, and how do I get the gallery view? Oh, I guess it's like that or what? Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, Mr. Flores, I mean, this is your motion, so I don't know if you want to call her, Ms. Caso, as a witness, or you want to allow Mr. Knudsen to do direct first.
No, I'll call her, Your Honor, as an adverse witness.
She need to get her sworn in, Your Honor.
Yes. Ms. Caso, you understand some English, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Can you please raise your right hand so you can be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear that the evidence and testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Flores, you may proceed.
Would you tell the court your full name, please, Ms. Caso?
Diana Maritza Caso de Alvarez.
And you are the respondent, counter petitioner in this case?
Yes.
And you are the natural mother of the child, the subject of this hearing?
Yes.
I'm going to try and be as brief as I can. Do you have a drinking problem?
No, sir.
And the child, as you know, has complained that you slapped her across the face, specifically hit her in the eye. Was she telling the truth?
I slapped her, yes.
In the face?
Not in the face. It was between her eye and her head. It was like something like this.
And let the record reflect that she touched her left side of her head where her ear was.
So you did slap her.
Take a notice of that, judicial notice.
We'll take judicial notice of that.
So
Thank
you
you.
did slap her. Then you admit that you slapped the child.
Yes, yes, I slapped her.
And you were not drinking at the time.
Pardon me?
You had not been drinking at the time.
Not at all.
Was there anybody present when it happened?
Yeah, no, I was just with my daughter.
What day and what time did this happen?
It was February 21. It was on Sunday. And it was around, I think, 1 p.m., 12, 12:30, I think, something like that. I don't quite remember the hour, something like that.
things.
How hard did you slap her?
Well, as a mother slap her daughter, I love her so much, but I don't have a strong enough words. But I don't know how much to measure the force to slap my daughter. So I don't know how to respond that, how hard.
So you believe it's appropriate to slap a 7-year-old child on the side of the head? Is that correct?
Not in the head. I know that it has to be a spank, but not a slap.
But
at
it was not a spanking, was it?
Yeah, it was not a spank. It was a slap.
So there's a difference between hitting a child in the behind and hitting the child in the head. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you acknowledge it was wrong?
I do not acknowledge it was wrong because I was trying to correct my daughter.
Mr. Flores, can you hold just a second? We have two people trying to join in reference to hearings that I'm going to cancel. So I'll be right back. Or I'm going to let them in and explain to them.
All right, Judge, thank you.
Let me get them. Mr. Hernandez? Mr. Hernandez? And Cassandra De Hoyos, are you there? You're on mute, both, you're both on, oh, there. Ms. De Hoyos,
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
are you with the Public Defender's Office?
No, Judge, I'm with the state.
You're with the state, okay. I'm in the middle of a civil hearing.
Judge, we
And-
did reach an agreement, so we're not gonna have to have a hearing.
Oh,
I
oh.
believe Mr. Hernandez filed the orders.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, and yes, and were there any other cases aside from Mr. Hernandez's case that you were here on?
This is the only case that I have, Your Honor.
Okay, submit the order. Is it signed by you, Ms. De Hoyos?
Yes, Judge, it's signed by me.
Okay, I apologize for it. Okay, then the court will sign off on it and I'll get it back to you later on this evening, okay?
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. May we be
Has it been?
excused?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Did you e-file? E-file it? I'm not e-file. Did you email it to me?
Judge, I think that we emailed it to the
Pretrial services?
pretrial services, yes.
Yes, they're bringing me some documents now and I told them that I will review. If it's
Okay.
signed off by both of you, I'll look for it, Mr. Hernandez, and I'll get it back to you and that'll be the first one.
Okay.
So that it gets into the system and your client can
Thank you,
bond
Judge.
out or PR, whatever.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Judge.
both. Sorry, Mr. Flores, you may proceed.
So, and is that the only time you have ever slapped a child in the face or head?
No, it's not the first time. Of course, I'm a mother and I have to correct my daughter.
Do you do it anytime she misbehaves? Is that correct?
Not always. Always when I think, well, for example, when she tried to slap me, when she tried to slap her dad, when she deserved it, I think.
So, oh, you slapped her like in self-defense?
No. I slap her when she misbehave, but not always. Just when she used to slap us, Moses, on her face or me when she was like 4 or 5 years. So that's why we start trying to correct that. Like, do not do that, because if we let our daughter do that, she's going to start hitting us like in years.
And so
Other kids.
if she misbehaves again, you're going to slap her again. Is that what you're telling?
Not a slap her. No. I understand that it's wrong. But it's spank her. Yes, because she has 7 years.
Do you have a girlfriend that goes to the house with you?
I have 2 or 3 friends that go to my house that they has kids, and we play, like, for example, like Mariana or Sebastian or Dariana. So are the same friends that Moses has contact with them.
Did you read or listen to the testimony of Mr. Martinez Silverio?
I haven't seen it. I didn't receive it. Did he send it already?
He testified that the child said that you would leave her inside the house and sit outside and smoke a lot and drink a lot. Was the child making that up?
I think so. I think so because I've been worried about her her behavior, and actually I've been sending messages to Moses asking him that we have to punish her because she's talking very bad words, and she's saying she's sending messages to other kids where she's using language for a 10 years or I don't know, and I have to correct that. I don't know. I'm not going to let my daughter sending messages, and I send them to Silverio, and he has it already.
And do you realize that she called Mr. Alvarez after you hit her in the face or in the head?
Of course, I realized because I was next to her, and I was telling her, call your dad, and I want to talk to him. And that's why I grabbed the phone. And that day I spoke with Moses, and I told him, Moses, you know what? Nikki is having a bad word, and I'm going to take her phone all the week. And she told me, Mommy, I don't want to be with you anymore because she knows that with her dad, so nothing is going to happen. That she's gonna have a reward. So Nikki, she has a lot of toys with her dad. I know Moses has always been like that. He let Nikki do whatever she wants, and I have to correct my daughter.
So
And the
I'm
mom,
I'm sorry,
just
you've answered
finish
the
this.
question.
Let her finish,
Can I,
please.
let me just finish. And the problem was this Sunday. It's because the mom of the little kid called me, and sorry, she didn't call me. She sent me a message where she was stating to me that she was so worried because Nikki was using a language that it's not allowed for a kid for 7 years. Like, and I was so embarrassed, and I was embarrassed, and I was telling to Andrea, I'm so sorry, and I will punish Nikki, and I will try to correct this. So at the moment that we were in the,
you're slapping her in the head. Is that right?
yes, I slapped my daughter, but not in the head, not in the face, not in the eye. I was slapped her like between. It was like it's called in Mexico like zape. It was something like this.
Can we have that translated, a tape?
Zape. It's called in Mexico zape.
Is that Mr. Gallegos there?
It's a slap.
Tape?
Zape. Well, it's not a slap. I think a slap like it's in the face, like something like that.
Well, it's a slap in the back of the head.
Well, okay, slap in the back of the head. Okay, between the ear and okay.
Ms. Caso,
Yes. Yes.
you have a full opportunity, but try to answer the questions being asked of you. And before you ask the next question, let me get Mr. Lozano off here also.
Okay.
Mr. Lozano? Mr. Lozano?
Good afternoon, Judge.
Mr. Lozano, yes, I'm in the middle of a civil hearing. I'm assuming you had a motion to reduce bond on a client?
Well, there's a client judge that's been in custody without indictment for over 120 days.
What's
He
the-
does have an ICE hold. Excuse me?
He has an ICE hold. What's his name?
It is Jonathan Alejandro Rojero.
Okay. What I've been telling what I was gonna, I had called the public defender's office to let them know. I'm gonna review the motions that you have, and the pretrial services is confirming how long they've been in custody. Okay,
Yes, Judge.
and they're giving me also, if there's an ICE hold, they'll let me know as well. And I'll take that into account, and I'll make a ruling on your motion to reduce bond on the state charges.
Yes, Your Honor.
By advisement, and just so you know, the district attorney's office did not show up. So you'll have a decision later on this evening, okay?
Okay, Judge. I appreciate it. Thank you. You have a great day, Judge.
You too.
Judge,
Yes.
I'm looking up Google for slap is bofetada, la palmada, la monatada,
Hold on, Mr.
abofetar, you know,
There's no need.
so
I can
zape is like a little cat.
I understand, Mr. Knudsen, and I visually saw what your client was demonstrating.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You may proceed, Mr. Flores.
And the child did actually tell you she wanted to be with her father, that she preferred to be with her father?
Well, that moment, yes, because I told her, if you want to go with dad, well, go with your dad, because I'm going to take your phone away, because there's no way I'm going to let you send those messages. And I have to discipline my daughter. I'm sorry.
And your way of disciplining is with a slap to the side of, what do you call it? What is it?
Sape. Yes.
Sape.
Sape.
Like that?
Sape. Sape.
ZAPE for the
Now,
record.
I'm gonna not dwell too much. Judge, I know we've taken up a lot of your time, but I do have to ask some questions in view of what Mr. Knudsen brought up. You do travel quite a bit yourself, don't you?
Yes.
Like, for example, did you go to San Francisco, California?
No, I've never been there. I'm sorry. I would love to.
There's a charge on your credit card, Get My Boat in San Francisco, California, back in July 1st of 2020.
No, I've never been there. Maybe it's from Austin, because my sister lives in San Antonio. So I think that the company who charged the boats are from the main company. The one who charges are from San Francisco, but I've never been there. I'm sorry.
And you traveled to Mexico City, or was it somebody else?
No, I think it
Hey,
was.
Judge, relevance on this? Are we doing a trial deposition or? Hold on, let them rule.
Where are we going with this, Mr. Flores?
Well, Mr. Knudsen made a big to-do about Mr. Alvarez traveling and not being there for the child. And so I want to know how much he travels.
I'm gonna allow it, Mr. Knudsen, and I actually saw that San Francisco deal, so I'm glad that was addressed.
Did you also travel to Dallas and El Paso back in August of 2020?
The travels that I made, it's always when I'm not with Nikki.
Well, the answer is yes, you traveled to El Paso?
Yes, I have to go there, yes.
And you took somebody, Rosa de la Carrion or something like that with you?
Objection relevance, Judge?
I'm gonna allow it.
Okay.
Yes, she was my friend. Yes, she's my friend. Yeah, of course.
That's not the same one that visits in your house?
Pardon me?
That's not the same one that visits in your house when you correct a child?
Well, I have a lot of friends. Well, yeah, she's always almost more a part of us. Like she's always with us. Yeah, of course.
There's some charges on your credit card also at República Cantina de M. Where is that located? Here in Laredo?
Yes, it's 3 blocks away from my house.
And what is that? Is that a bar?
It's a restaurant. They sell a lot of food, Mexican food, and it's delicious. I recommend you for you.
How about September
For the
11th?
judge too? You recommend the judge?
For the
there,
judge too, of course.
How about September the 11th
That's
of
enough.
2020? What is Restaurante Bikina Masari Cake in Mexico?
I don't remember. Yeah, if it says Mexico, it has to be. Yeah.
Travel to Mexico.
Yeah, I traveled to Mexico. I had to go. Yeah, of course.
How long were you there?
I think it was, I don't know. I don't remember. What was the date?
How much did it cost you?
When?
When you
When-
traveled to Mexico, was it expensive?
What was the date?
When was the date? I'm sorry.
I believe it was in September.
September.
And the one to El Paso, was that business related?
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to make a business, of course.
What was the business?
What was my business? I'm trying to contact to make concerts once the COVID will be open. That's why I'm trying to be around people.
Without the same people that invested before on concerts?
Well, some of them, yeah. Yeah, because on this environment, you have to know all the people. But on Mexico, no, I saw another persons that are not involved from Guns N' Roses.
Are those the same people that owe you money on the concerts?
No.
Who are the people that you went to see?
Friends that they connect with them, that they are trying to
What are their names, ma'am?
concerts on the south. Pardon me?
What are the names of those friends?
Judge relevance, you know,
Yeah,
this is.
Yeah,
getting
well,
into
are we
it
talking
right there.
about Nicole or what?
Your
Yeah,
trip to
for the
Mexico
record,
and to El
Judge,
Paso.
South, the most
Hold
important.
on, Mr. Watson, hold on. I'm assuming you're looking at the American Express bills, Mr. Flores?
Yes,
Is
it's
that part of the
I
motion for
mean, that's
today?
just what we have in the some of the credit card invoices that we were able to see that verifies the travel.
Well, can you, I mean, obviously I guess the traveling of the parents has been raised as an issue. I mean, I'll allow you to ask her about that, but as it
I
relates,
didn't have to say that, Judge, because I thought it wasn't relevant.
yeah, and I'm going to cut it off right there. Although the finances are important, and I actually had, before we leave today, I have some questions regarding that. But for the purposes of visitation, which is what we're hearing right now, Mr. Flores, you're using the
If you will,
bill.
Judge, me just a couple of more questions.
Yeah, no, I'm going to allow you to question whether she traveled in the city because
Did you also recently travel to Las Vegas?
Yeah, I actually I was there to ¿cómo se dice? Celebrar el año nuevo. To receive the new year. Yeah, I was in Las Vegas actually. Yeah.
And from Las Vegas, did you also go to a ski resort? in the mountains?
No, I haven't been in any ski resort. I was invited by a friends that went to ski, and they rent a house.
And on any of these trips, did you take Nikki with you?
No, because unfortunately it was with his dad, with her dad, and also I didn't take Nikki because I don't have the opportunity to travel with the nanny who can help me out with the ski. Have you skied before? It's so difficult for a single mom to carry all the equipment and all the stuff. And also she was I think it was on a school on that time, and I don't have enough money as my husband has all the money in control, so I cannot afford Nikki because she spent a lot of money.
I understand
But
you correctly.
I will do my best, Mr. Flores, to have her this spring break. So thanks for asking for that.
If I understand your position is you can go on vacations and travel to Vegas and places like that, but you don't have the money to take Nikki with you. Is that correct?
No, Mr. Flores, I think you misunderstood what I was saying. To big trips, for example, for ski, it's so expensive, but always I've traveled with Nikki to San Antonio, no, I have never traveled to Monterrey, but we have always, like every weekend, like to San Antonio, to Fiesta Texas, to Kalahari Resort, even though that my husband took Nicole to Kalahari once I arrived from there. I'm
talking since the separation, not when you were together.
No, from the separation. I travel every weekend to San Antonio with my daughter, and you can ask her. We go since Friday to Sunday, and we go to Fiesta Texas, we go to restaurants, we travel to Austin, to Kalahari. So I haven't traveled with her in airplane, not because for me it looks expensive. It's because for all the problems that I have with Moses, it's too difficult to have interaction with him. So that's why I don't want to have problems with him. So just see, right now, I'm trying to discipline my daughter that I love her so much, and I will give my life for her. So just for that, Moses is trying to take my daughter away. I don't know why, and he knows I'm a good mother. So, but that's how divorce it is. So
just so
I understand. I totally understand.
Understands. Your position is you slapped your daughter because she was misbehaving in the head, whether it was in the back of the head or in the eye. You believe that was okay?
Objection form, she said it was not on the eye.
Well, and I think the question's been asked and answered, and that point has been
Yes.
made abundantly clear.
As a witness.
Mr. Knotson?
Okay. Yes, most of these questions dealt with financial, yet the most important is the daughter. Is the daughter most important for you?
Judge, at the outset, she's leading the witness. It's his witness. I questioned her as an adverse witness. She's not entitled to lead, and I object to any leading questions.
Yeah.
I ask that you admonish Mr. Knotson. He knows better.
Let me ask it a different way.
Okay.
What's most important to you, the property division or getting primary custody of your daughter?
Getting primary custody for my daughter.
And you're willing to give extended standard to Moy, correct?
Of course.
Which he's only going to get 4 days less a week,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
And, basically.
Again, he's still leading, Your Honor.
Yeah, you're.
And I'm trying to wrap it up, Judge,
Okay.
so.
I'll give you some leeway, but just get to the point.
Where are you taking your daughter for spring break? Are you taking her anywhere?
Yes, of course. Actually, on Monday, I'm planning this Monday. Next Monday, I'm planning to go to Cancun with her. But
and I object, Your Honor. That's irrelevant. where they're planning
Well,
to.
Judge, it's relevant because he's made plans to take her somewhere else during her time. He's leaving Monday, not coming back till the following 10 days later, Wednesday.
I don't know why, and I just
hold on,
realized,
Ms. Caso, hold on. Okay,
yeah, of course.
okay, let's ask the question, and Ms. Caso, just answer the question that's being asked, and don't lead the witness.
Okay, yes, I am planning to take my daughter to Cancun this spring break that starts on Monday, the 17th, I think. Oh, the 15th.
That's
The
fine.
15th.
Next question, Mr. Watson.
And did you find out where Moy is taking your daughter?
Yeah, actually, that's a problem for me because I have just realized by the person who helped us out that her name is Judy Pulido, that she will not be returning until the 17th, and I'm planning to go with my daughter on the 15th. So why am I as a mother am not allowed to have that kind of information? That's why I've been always asking to Moses, please, let's go friends, let's be parents. And I've been sending to Moses and calls. The best thing for our daughter is that we have to be friends. We have to have communication, but he always blocked me. He always saying like laughing at me, you cannot be in our company, like I'm just winning, and all that stuff, but I don't care. I just want to finish this. And if Moses is willing to give me that primary custody, actually we were trying to make a good settlement for him because I know that he's the
Object, it's not responsive.
Okay. Now, do you think it's in the best interest of your daughter that she be taken out of school next week?
no, not at all, because she
Your
has
Honor,
been having
That's, again,
No.
none of that is alleged.
next week. She will not be on a spring break. I don't know,
All right,
Moses,
Your Honor,
why
I
is he
object.
taking my daughter
Hold on, Ms.
away?
Caso. Ms. Caso, hold on a second.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Knudsen, your client's going on in narratives, and I do want to give you the opportunity to present her interaction with the daughter, but we're here to determine the future of how the little girl is going to be living. So,
Yes, Judge. And
question.
Judge, this is something that I want to avoid having to file an emergency motion to have a hearing at 9 p.m. tonight or at 7:30 in the morning tomorrow, where is he taking her out of school next week when they do not have spring break and then bringing her back during when she has spring break? You know, I mean, clearly that's not in the child's best interest. You know, so, I mean, it's like, okay, look, he wants to take her out of school next week. She's going to attend Zoom wherever they're at skiing. That's great. Then he takes her. That's fantastic.
All of that is irrelevant to this hearing, Your Honor.
But it's
no allegation of anything like that.
Look, right now, and the temporary orders have not been altered. Mr. Alvarez is free to make his plans with his daughter as he sees fit. And I understand the concern about school.
Yeah.
But we're talking about first or second grade. And most of these classes are being attended by Zoom. So I've gone
But
through
we'll
this.
have her back by Sunday to where she can have her to take her.
That's never been an issue before the court by either parent, I'm glad to say, of having the child return when they're supposed to. So
Okay.
we don't need to go into things that are speculative at this point.
No, that's fine. I'll confer with Mr. Flores just to verify he'll have her Sunday so he can take her on vacation during the spring break. If not, oh, my phone died.
Oh.
God damn it.
Okay, is there anything further, Mr. Knudsen?
My phone died, Judge, but I'm gonna ask questions from here and hopefully she can her computer died, so let me look at my notes.
I believe the court has to be able to see.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest.
Her eyes.
It might be better that you can ask the questions, but I'd like to see her responses.
Okay, there. All right. Now, now, when, you know, they keep saying slap, was it hard? Was it medium? Was it light? Describe it to the
Your
judge.
Honor, leading again. Where did he go to law school?
Hold on. All right, and we just asked the question, Mr. Knotson. I'm going to sustain that objection.
Okay. Well, describe, you know, what you pointed to the side of on her head. Describe it to the judge.
Yeah, well, once I saw the messages and all the stuff, I called Nicole. She was screaming, and I took her phone, and then she was walking from the living room. She was walking like through the what's it called?
Hallway?
No, through the dining room, and I was like, "Hey, Nicole, when I'm talking to you, you should see me on your eyes because I'm trying to tell you that you are wrong." And then she was like stand, and she was like something like walking, and I was like behind her, and it was like something like here. What's something like here? It was within her eye and something like that. She didn't even cry, and then she took her phone because she threw it away, and she was telling me that she was going to call her dad, and I was like, yes, of course. I want to talk with your dad too, because you have to be punished for all the messages that you sent.
All right. So your daughter did not cry.
No.
Did she have any bruise?
No, not at all. After that, we saw a movie.
So is it, oh, okay. So she sat and had a movie, watched a movie with you?
Yeah, and I talked to her and I said that, hey, you know what? You're not going to use your phone. Let's watch a movie. And she was like, okay, Mom. And then her dad was at Monterrey at that time, and she was
on Sunday.
On Sunday, and
so he was in Monterrey on Sunday.
Yes, he was traveling from there. He told me that.
Oh, so basically he lied to the court, saying, "Oh no, I was there." He was in Monterrey Sunday. Did he come in Sunday night or what?
Actually, I don't know.
So when you talked to him on the phone, he was in Monterrey.
Yeah, he told me that he was driving and he were not going to make it to go to Nikki at 1. And I told her, hey, you know what? If you're not take Nikki right now, she is so angry. Please do not let her use her phone because she has been behaved this and this and this. And I talked and I spoke to Moses that time. I don't know why he's telling like all that stuff.
So you think, I mean, in your opinion, is he telling the judge the truth, describing it accurately,
Your Honor,
or is he blowing it out of proportion?
It invades the province of the court.
Yeah, Mr. Knotson, and you're leading again, okay?
No. Is he being truthful with the court, or is he
Your Honor,
blowing this whole situation out of proportion?
I object to that question.
This is out of proportion.
Basis?
Marcel, I'm sorry, Mr. Knotson. Mr. Knotson, you can ask her questions of where she believes he was, but I'm going to tell you that Sunday, he could have been anywhere. His job is to be back when the child is being transported back. Where are you going with this?
No, I understand, because he said he was not out of town on that day. It's credibility, Judge. That's where I'm going with that. You know, so is he being completely truthful with Your Honor? So the bottom line is they're taking advantage of this situation to try to take away the child on a little minor deal.
Hold on. How do you think the court's going to be swayed whether he was in Laredo, Monterey, or San Francisco for that matter when this happened? How is that relevant to what's in the best interest of the child?
It's relevant, Judge, if he's exaggerating, if he's lying about something so simple about where he was, he's lying about I mean, he's already said there was nothing there. There was no bruises. There was no marks. There was no nothing. He didn't take him to the doctor. It wasn't severe. So, I mean, I'm going to move for directed verdict right now. There's nothing there. There's no there.
Mr.
There's
Knotts,
no there.
nothing's gonna happen until I visit with the child, so your point's well taken, okay? You've made the point. But
All right.
I need to hear something else.
Okay. Were you drunk on that day?
Again, Your Honor.
You have to come over here.
The
Oh,
witness.
there you are. They got it.
He's the witness.
Wait,
I
hold on.
object, Your Honor.
What?
On what
What's the
ground?
objection?
That you're leading, sir.
Okay, ask the question again. I didn't,
No,
It says quiet. Hold on.
actually,
Were you drunk on
I
that day?
asked
That's
to
not
instruct that question not be answered because he's leading. He's suggesting the
I'm
answer.
not saying you were not drunk that day, were you? That's leading. You
Hold
were
on.
not drunk that day, were you?
he's covering the same ground.
Explain to the judge
Hold on.
whether you'd
Hold
been
on.
drinking.
Okay, ahead.
Judge, that day, actually, and tomorrow you can ask my daughter. She went to HEB to buy barbacoa with Veronica. That what she's one of.
Let's switch here.
Yeah.
Here, come over there to mine now. Come over here. Turn it on there. Did you put it on mute here?
I started.
Here's the mute.
Yeah.
Where's the mute?
Oh my God. All right.
Oh yeah, of course. Actually, I'm so sorry, Judge Garcia. That day, my daughter
Okay,
went to.
the
Yeah,
question
well-
was whether you were drinking that day.
No, we were making pancakes. That's what we were making, and I have videos on Facebook for that from that day.
And so, I mean, basically, what time did the housekeeper show up?
At 4, I think, and she was with us. She can testify too.
Okay, so she would know whether or not you were drunk.
Of course, of course, perfectly.
Okay. So, you know, if the child is actually told that to Moises, then she's lying, and that's a problem that needs to be addressed, correct?
Oh, I've been talking to Moses about that. I'm so worried because Nikki, and I have messages like 6 weeks ago when I described to Moses, Nikki is saying a lot of lies.
And you believe that, what is your opinion of Moises letting her get whatever she wants? Is that affecting her behavior?
Of course,
How?
course.
How is it affecting her behavior?
Because she knows that we don't have a good relation as a friends or as a exes. I don't know why. We've been married 20 years. I don't know. It will be great if we sit together and we have with her a talk, because she knows that her dad doesn't talk to me. So she's telling me, hey, my dad give me permission to stay 2 more days with you. And I have to call the nanny, and then the nanny Moses to ask if that's a true. And it suddenly says, Moses, I haven't even talked to Nikki, so that's a lie. And Moses can say that.
What type of bad words did your daughter use?
There were two messages. One of them, she was texting. Can I have my phone so I can?
Okay.
She was texting to Alina. That's the name of the girl. When she was saying, "Hey, Alina, I am Sebastian on Nikki's phone, and I'm gonna be with you, and I want hot girls like you." And from the messenger, she was telling me, fucking bitch. I'm so sorry, but those were the words. Hey, you're fucking bitch. Hey, I hate
I
you.
get the picture. Okay,
Okay, has your husband ever called you a fucking bitch, Moises?
Again, Your Honor, he
Yeah,
keeps
okay, but-
leading and wanting to go into things that.
Hey, look,
The best interest of the child, Judge.
well,
Where
I
do
mean,
you think she got this language from? Did she get it from you?
No, not at all. I think it's because she used a lot
Your
of
Honor,
phone.
Can
She
you
used
instruct
it.
him not to ask any more leading questions?
Yeah, Mr. Knudsen,
Who do you think she got that from? Judge, that's not leading as a matter of law.
okay, I know, but we're
I
covering,
mean, Lopez Flores needs to go
Hold
back to
on.
law.
Mr. Knudsen, we're covering the same ground. The court is aware of the animosity between the parties.
We're
we covered-
focusing on the best interest of the child, Judge.
Okay,
And it's not appropriate that she's using a 7-year-old using language like a sailor. Where's
okay.
she getting this from? Why is it not being corrected?
I'm trying to correct her. And
So, do you think she needs to have a?
And I object to Mr. Knudsen categorizing the child speaking like a sailor. That's absolutely improper.
Yeah,
I
okay.
guess he also wants to get in the mix and slap her.
All right, Mr. Knudsen, I'll give you a few more minutes and then we're gonna wrap
All
it
right.
up.
Yes,
Make your
now,
questions
this,
count.
was it, when you said sape, was it like a hard slap on the head or
Objection.
describe it to
no,
the
not
judge?
at all.
Hold on.
Repeating and repetitious.
Yes, I agree. Mr. Knudsen, we've covered this, the slap or stop it, whatever you want to call it.
So did you ever hit her in the eye,
Never.
on the face?
Again, a yes or no answer is a leading question, Your Honor.
Yeah, well,
Did you hit her on the face?
No.
Okay, and did she ever complain about any pain?
Not at all. We were watching TV after that.
And was she fine?
Oh,
What
perfectly.
was her demeanor?
Perfectly.
Okay. What time did Moy pick her up?
She
that
didn't
day?
pick her up. I drive with the nanny and Nikki, and we say goodbye. If he has cameras, he can see that.
What time was it?
It was like 5:30, something like that. And Yuri told me that Moses he was traveling from Monterrey that day, but I told her nanny, do not let Nikki use the phone because he is castigada. Because she's punished, and she gave me a kiss, and she said, "Mom, I'm gonna miss you, bye bye. I don't know." Well,
did she give you a kiss?
Of course, like always.
That day?
That day.
Okay. And did your husband let her use the phone when she was punished for a week?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
And if he did,
Yes, because I called her and she was along with the nanny, and she told me that her dad wasn't with her, and she left her like 2 or 3 days. She was traveling, I don't know. And I was like, why am I not able to have her if he wants to keep traveling, even though if it's his week, so I can have her. There's no problem at all. So for the best of our daughter, I think that we should like have more communication between me and Mr. Alvarez.
Okay. Was there any other bad words? Those were the 2 bad words you already told the judge, or?
Yeah, I have the messages from the mom who talked to me and told me all that horrible things that they were fighting. The other girl also was saying bad stuff, and actually Moses can tell, like she's starting to took personal things.
You're going on. You need to just answer the question that Mr. Knudsen is asking.
All right.
What? Well,
Now, your daughter never had to go see a doctor or go to the hospital, is that correct?
Never at all.
And she didn't cry after this?
No.
Okay.
She cried because I took her phone, that's it. But
Oh,
not
she
for...
cried when she took your phone?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And then she only said she wanted to live with her dad after you told her you took her phone and she couldn't use it for a week.
Yes, of course. I want to go with my dad because she knows.
Okay, we've covered this. We've covered this.
And do you think it would be, what did your daughter tell you about who bought the home?
Oh, that day, that was one of the things. She started screaming at me, and she was like, "Hey, this is not your house. My dad told me that she bought the house, and it's your fault that you are not with my daddy because you left him." I don't know why my daughter.
So you don't think she lied about that, do you?
No.
Okay,
He can-
that's, all right. I'm gonna cut it off here. Mr. Nuts, we're covering a lot of the same
Yeah.
ground. And
So, and that's enough, Judge. I think I just wanted to give you a flavor to see, to get to the bottom. Is he talking to the daughter? Did
Mr.
anyone ever
Yes.
tell you who owns the home? Did anyone tell you who is the cause of the divorce? Oh yeah, my mom did, or my dad did, or dad said mommy's at fault, or because whoever's doing that is not appropriate.
Okay, let's hold on a second here. I'm gonna, just to recap, I'm expecting the child here tomorrow at 3. I'll make the arrangements to see if who's gonna be here.
Okay.
I have just a couple of redirect questions to clear some things up.
Okay, and I'll have to let Mr. Knotson go again too. But go ahead, let's limit it to.
You testified earlier that you were alone when the incident happened, but in fact, you later testified with Mr. Knotson that Vero was there.
Yeah, she left early. She left like at 12, something like that.
And also the nanny got there. Is that correct?
At 5, yes, that's correct.
So there was somebody there.
At the moment that the incident, it was like, I think it was like at 2 o'clock, at 1:32, I don't know. But Veronica left like, I think at 12, and Judy arrived to my home. I think it was around 4:30 or 5. I don't quite remember. But at the moment that the incident happened, it was, I was alone with her. Yes.
And is the nanny afraid of you? Do you ever hear?
No, not at all. Not at all. You can have it, and I'm gonna have it as a witness, and Moses too, and I'm gonna have another nanny. Her name is Yolanda also.
As a witness, John.
Of course.
Any follow-up, Mr. Knotson?
No, Judge. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Okay. Well, before we leave here today, Mr. Flores, I have a question for your client in reference to the BBVA Compass accounts. They're under the MAG Corporation or the MAG LLC. And I was looking through the payrolls and how they handle that, and not the balance sheets, the income statements, which reflected the payroll payments. And I've noticed that there are checks made out to MAG Corporation. And just in the 2 months that I was concentrating on were November and December, there was a check, and this goes throughout. Why is the company making checks to itself? Is there another account where they disperse to the employees?
I'm not sure the question is clear, but I believe it involves making payment for expenses from one account to another that have to be paid out of that expense.
Well, and actually they matched, they matched payroll. And just as an example that I was,
Marshall.
this is exactly what I was reviewing. It's because the payroll of, you all are claiming that the payroll, that there are employees that are employed by MAG Corporation that shouldn't be, namely Cindy Caso and the other two. So I went back to try to trace this, but what I noticed in the canceled checks, for instance, in the month of November, there were 3 checks made out to MAG Corporation. They're check numbers 6178, 6216, and 6216 and 6218. And all those checks are made out to MAG Corporation. Excuse me, let me get it. Here, I highlighted it. I mean, they're made out to MAG Group. Does that make sense?
Judge, maybe we can ask the accountant. She's on the line.
Probably that's a question that Ms. Valdez could answer better, Your Honor.
Well, they seem to jive up with the numbers that you all are giving me in reference to payroll, and I'm assuming, and that was my question, is because the issue last week was brought up about trying to recover monies from past payroll. So that's my question, is payroll not made out under the account ending in 257?
Maybe we can ask the one that says Moy, Judge. That's the internal accountant, or unless Mr. Moy knows that.
This is the question. Look, the account name is MAG Group LLC. And all the largest checks drawn out of that, most of them are around 100,000. Some are a little bit higher, some are a little bit less, but they're made out to MAG Group.
Es de la nómina.
Yo puedo responder esa pregunta, ¿eh?
But, well, I mean, I'm gonna verify this, but.
And what's the translation? La nómina?
Payroll.
Payroll.
Okay,
The payroll.
that's the payroll, and that's why I'm saying, is there another account for payroll?
Es donde está todo el PPL. Por eso quiero entrar. Es que me...
Where does that money go to is the question. Another, otro cuenta? ¿Va ese dinero?
Toda esa información ya la tiene usted, juez, y ahí se la hemos estado mandando. Ahora
No,
que-
I have, and again,
No entiendo cuál es la pregunta.
What is the question?
where's that money being deposited? What's the account into which that money is being deposited into?
¿Cuál es la cuenta en que ese dinero se ha estado depositando?
Andrea, ¿no, juez? Póngala ahí para que le explique ella mejor.
Is she present?
Yes.
Andrea, ¿puedes contestar lo que te están preguntando?
Andrea, could you please answer what they're asking?
Yes, hi, good afternoon, Judge. From my understanding, they have the main MAG Group account. And from that account, they issue a check to the payroll account where those, that pays strictly payroll. All the checks that are issued on Friday get paid through the payroll account.
Okay.
And you have that information in those binders that we prepared for you.
Yes, and that's where I got it from. My question is, into which account does it go into? You know, the money from two?
Oh, I understand. I understand your question. Let me check real quick because I don't have the binders with me, but there's an account specifically for payroll. Let me see if I have the.
Is it the same bank?
Yes, it's all BBVA, sir.
Well,
let me see. I should have everything that we produced, the list, so you can know which account. Give me a second. Please bear with me.
because yeah, they don't copy the back of the check, so I couldn't tell where that money was going.
Mm-hmm. It's basically they do their payroll report and then from QuickBooks, and then from there, whatever amount is issued from QuickBooks, that's the amount that gets transferred into the payroll account.
And that's my question. What's the payroll account number?
Just a
Or
second.
the account number, yeah.
Well, you just give me the last few digits. We don't want just the last few digits.
Es la que dijo ahorita usted, juez. Acaba en
Zero.
7.
It's the one that you mentioned a little while, Judge.
No, the money is leaving.
The 0257, right? That's where the money is leaving.
Right.
Okay.
And where is it going?
Let me get you that account number. Give me a second. Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Lupita is not in right now. She already left for the day, and she's the one that has that information.
Well-
I can get it to you as soon as she comes back in tomorrow.
Well, what's the name of the, do you know the name of the account?
Of the account? It's a
payroll
Mag
account.
Mag Group payroll account, but it's not in that binder. It has the BBVA, the Mag Rentals, Mag Entertainment, Mag, those are the main ones, and then the payroll is just payroll.
Well, I understand that.
I thought they were ordered to produce that.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Those
You
are
know,
all the accounts that I found listed under the company, but I don't know if she has a different access than I have a different access to produce.
Well,
But we can get them to you by tomorrow. It's not a problem.
well, they should have, I mean, Mr. Flores, this is one of the concerns I had, that both sides were complaining about money being made to disappear. And I warned both sides that I was going to look through all these accounts. And the biggest expenditure that MAG Group has is the payroll, and we're talking in excess of 100,000 monthly. And there's nowhere in here that I could find, and it is being reported in the sense that if you look at the advisory, the information I got in there has some of the balance sheet, so I know it exists, but I just couldn't find it to verify who was getting paid. And this in part was in part because of your urging, you and your client, Mr. Flores, that money had been siphoned out. Okay.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
they do issue the weekly reports where it shows all the payroll and the emails that are sent, and that jives with the checks that are issued from the MAG Group. And there you have a list of
But I don't
everybody
have
that
any
gets
of that.
paid.
The only thing that I have is money leaving this account, again, monthly in excess of 100,000. And I don't know who's getting paid and how it's being paid.
And we don't have those weekly reports that were ordered. Madeline said that Marty would give them to her on a weekly basis.
No,
Which
I modified that.
Oh, I don't have that order, you know.
It was before you got here.
Okay.
And
Well, that's what I'm going off of. So,
well,
and that's why she doesn't have, you know, to have the transparency, you know, what.
Martin, Mr. Knotson, the court's aware of what we're trying to do here. Okay. All right. I want to just verify that. So Miss, where is she? There. I'm sorry, I didn't
On the
get
top right.
Miss, what was her last name?
Andrea.
Valdez.
Ms. Valdez?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna have that tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I'll get it to you tomorrow.
If they can get me a copy also, Judge.
We can do it electronic, or we can print them out for you, or both ways, however you want. It's not a problem.
Electronic, whatever's easier for you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
There's not an issue there. I mean,
Well,
it's transparent. You'll see.
I don't want to be inundated. I mean, the court's really more concerned. I mean, I'll leave it to you all to go back as far as you need to know. I'm more concerned with the recent transactions. So
from November, December, January, February?
no, I was going to say more like, let's say June forward.
June 2020 to present?
Yes.
You got it.
And I'll leave it to you all to
Judge, what, just as a curiosity, and since Ms. Valdez knows, what account did the PPL money go into? Because I think that was about 500,000 or 600,000.
You should have the corresponding PPP documents in
That was,
those
that
binders,
was in the packages that I got. I saw.
and
them.
everything is transparent there as well. You can see the
Yeah, they
checks
wanted-
and the supporting
Okay.
documents.
I would
saw-
just search what account so I can look for that account. Was there's Compass or
Everything is in
IBC?
Compass, sir. Everything is in,
Compass, okay,
Second binder number 2, it's in there,
yes, sir.
okay,
In there.
Mr. Knudsen.
all right.
All right,
Thank
I
you.
think we've had enough for today. Well,
Mr. Knudsen emailed something right before the start of this hearing. And so we've not had a chance to review it and to make sure that everything that we asked for has been produced. I don't
Well-
believe it's going to be, but we'll look at it first.
okay, I didn't, oh,
And they haven't produced it to the court like we did.
Yeah. I think we produced a lot more than Judge Flores did, so
no, well, look, this is not,
for the record.
Not even
Yeah.
close.
so, look, I'm not gonna blow a gasket over this. There's a lot in here, but just in case the parties were wondering whether I was actually gonna spend the time, I am spending the time, and we are gonna get to the bottom of all this. But I'm gonna again urge, and I will tell you this, Mr. Knudsen, before you start, the information you gave me should have been in my hands or the other side's hands a long time ago. If that was the first time you're producing it, it should have been. So both sides have fault here. So no gloating on either side. Both sides have been kind of lax on the information that's required. So I'm
And
not-
I'll find out. I'm gonna try to set up a meeting by Friday with Ms. Escoto so she can bring me up to speed, her and Mr. Tamez. So, and I can ask them whether these documents have been produced, but this is what my client brought me. And we made copies and scanned them and sent them to Judge Flores and a hard copy to your office.
okay.
Eh,
All right. Give me
Juez,
a.
¿me permite preguntarle algo? Es
Do you
una
allow me
pregunta
to
nada
ask you
más.
something?
Ask, do you want him to ask me a question, Mr. Flores?
No, Your Honor, I would prefer to discuss it with him first and then I'll bring it up.
Okay,
And Judge, briefly, very amicable. I've reached out to Mr. Flores. We put together a proposal. I talked to Allison Haynes, the mediator, and Ms. Escoto suggested that we go back to mediation ASAP. I told them I'm willing to go back. My client wants to get it done. I think Mr. Moy wants to get it done. I'm in the disposition para arreglarlo el más amicable posible, el más rápido posible para toda la gente y que se acabe y que los dos.
okay, okay. I don't want to
Amicable.
arguing to Mr. Alvarez right now. He's got his attorneys to advise him. He's in good hands,
Right,
as is your client. So, all right,
right.
I'm
So,
gonna end it now, and then what I'll do is I'll be in touch with the parties tomorrow after my interview with the child, okay? The attorneys.
I mean, Judge, for the record, I'm asking for a directed verdict based on the testimony. I think there's nothing, there has to be a serious, immediate
Denied,
danger.
Denied.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
just trying to
I'm
protect the
going
record, Judge.
I'm going to visit with the child tomorrow. All right.
All right,
Your
and
Honor.
Your Honor, can they send me copies? Because I'm not, for whatever reason, on the docket. When he files stuff, I haven't gotten those emergency motions, so my client's being denied due process. Can Mr. Flores email those to me right now? Because I haven't gotten them. I mean, I didn't have a problem with Your Honor meeting with the child, but
You want the emergency motion?
yeah, the emergency motion and to interview the child, I didn't get those. They're on the docket sheet,
Well, consider
notice
the
of appeal and right to de novo hearing. I don't know what that is. There's a notice of appeal filed. I didn't file that. In an emergency motion to confer with
both
child.
sides have right, since I'm an associate judge, they have a right to appeal.
But I don't have that document, Judge, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
And we're on March 2nd, and this was filed on the 26th.
Okay.
So
Well, the problem, Mr. Knotson filed his notice of appearance just a few minutes before the last hearing. And so I don't know if the district clerk has him on there, but he automatically should have been getting it.
Yeah, on the e-file, it should pop up
I'm not-
anytime you file his name should pop up when you file on e-file.
well, he's not including us on e-filing. I think he's including Madeline and Silverio. I'm not getting it. So if
You
the
have to pick it
secretary
up
can
with
just
the
email it to me.
Okay,
when-
Take it up with the district clerk.
Yeah, if
Well-
you get a chance, Mr. Flores, go ahead and send them the emergency motions. I mean,
And the notice of appeal.
I will, Your Honor.
also, okay. Mr. Martinez, did you have anything to add?
Oh,
Yes,
did you get
Judge.
the advisory
Yeah.
to the court, Judge?
Your Honor, the court requested a report from me by today. I filed in it, well, I didn't file the advisory. I had emailed it to Your Honor because I wanted it to be sealed and ex parte. But I could file it if the court, so actually,
No.
hold on a second. It's an advisory, it's not a report because I still need a little more time. So I lay it out in the advisory of why and what I suggest happens in the interim.
Well, Mr. Knotson, I'm looking here at the e-filing emails from the district clerks, and you're on there. Is your email mcn@knotsonlawfirm.com?
Yes, it is.
And your assistant's on there as well, Jennifer C. I mean, JC
Yeah.
@Knotson. They're both
She's
on
saying
there.
we didn't get those. Did we get those? No, she's saying no, we didn't get them.
It's-
That's why she brought this
Well,
in, and
this is an issue with the district clerks then, because
those were the two we haven't gotten, so. But Mr. Flores said he would send them to me today, so that's fine, Judge.
all right, well, you might want to call the district clerk's office because according to.
Yeah, I'll have my secretary
You-
call him right now to make sure that I'm on there or on their.
I didn't get your advisory, by the way.
You did not?
I did not.
Did you send it, Jenny? The advisory to Judge Garcia. What? No, Judge Flores. I mean, we already sent it to him. We need to send it email to Judge Garcia.
No need. It's been,
Accepted?
yeah, I've got it here.
Okay. And that was the one on the 90,000 that they were asking all this discovery about. And, hey, there's a wire transfer there. It's deposited from the sister.
Okay,
And-
I'll look at it. I'll look at it when I get it. And Mr. Martinez, yeah, you have my email. Send me your advisory and we'll go from there.
And Judge, the last time you said you asked him to, I agree, it shouldn't be filed with the court, but if he can forward a copy to Manuel Flores and to myself.
Yes, and the email I have for you, Judge, for some reason bounced back because I sent the advisory to you yesterday, but I noticed today it had bounced back. I have David E. Garcia at
No,
Webb
no.
County.
No, it's just David G. @webcountytx.gov.
Oh, David G. at webcountytx.gov. Okay, I'll go ahead and send it. It's in my advisory, just advising the court that I need a little more time to give you a full report.
Well, I'm not visiting with the child until tomorrow at 3, so you have some time.
And Judge, would you like for me to be present at least via Zoom for that conference with the child?
No, I'm going to talk to her with another female present who's not going to participate.
Okay. All right. I don't know if the court wants to call me before to understand what the issues were, but I'm available if the court needs it.
I'll call. I'll see what you send me today, and I'll call you before the 3 o'clock meeting tomorrow.
I'll go ahead and send it to you as soon as I get back
And
into my
Judge,
office.
I am a little bit surprised because after all, Mr. Martinez is the guardian ad litem.
I'm gonna talk to him
Okay,
about
the
that,
court.
and then we'll go, yeah, but
He's not the attorney ad litem, so he's the guardian. So, I mean, it's to advise the court of any issues. The court is directly interviewing the child, so there's nothing else that the guardian ad litem, hey, judge, here's what the child said. Well, you
But-
know it.
but
It's
have-
like, I mean, Silverio doesn't need to advise the court what you heard.
no, yes, he does.
No. Well, I mean, what the child told you, I mean, you're there to hear it. So, I mean,
I agree.
Glenn
And
Flores is assuming you're not going to be able to understand.
I
what
may
the child
ask you to be on standby, Mr. Martinez, depending on the initial demeanor of the child. I know this could be difficult for them. So I'm gonna wait until I talk to the girl, and so you may want to be on
Your
standby. Yeah,
This child, if she was traumatized by the so-called slap, I'm just concerned that she shouldn't have to suffer more trauma in trying to investigate further.
what you,
It's hard enough as it is.
I know, hold on, Mr. Flores, but you were the one that filed the motion.
Exactly. And I think you're going to find out, oh no, the child was not traumatized,
Because
and they filed false pleadings with the
I
court.
I thought it was my duty, because when something like an outcry comes up in a school situation or anywhere, immediately there's a reaction. And that was my reaction when I discussed it with Mr. Martinez.
So, all right. I've made my ruling, and I am gonna visit with the child tomorrow, and who's gonna be present, or whether it's gonna be with someone else, will be a decision made by the court.
I'll be more than happy to be there.
No, make sure I have all the documents, to both sides, okay? I don't want any,
What other documents do you
well,
need from us, if anything?
I know, well, I haven't gone through all of them yet, Mr. Natson.
That's fine.
For you. And I will.
Just for the record, my client says she has no contract on the MAG Entertainment. There was no
remember that from
contract.
last time, but these were records that were asked of your client months ago. And again, and there's fault on both sides, so don't take this as either side. I'm seeing stuff that has not been produced, that was asked for, that has not been produced by both sides. So, and that's gonna end. So let's move forward, and then I'll contact the attorneys after the meeting tomorrow.
Thank you, Judge.
Everyone's
May I be
excused.
excused?
Yes, everyone's excused.